Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Hollywood After Dark, episode 38 tonight, featuring the one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend, Dwayne The Rock. I'm kidding, it's Mikey Sutton. And Mad Max the Mandalorian. Let's talk about all sorts of things DCEU related that might make me in the position to have to eat more crow right now. Hey everyone, how you guys doing tonight? Welcome to the show. It's episode, today's the 30th, officially the 30th. I did one at midnight this morning, so it's two streams in less than 24 hours, effectively, showing you how much I love talking to you guys about movies. And of course, tonight I am joined by my friend Mikey Sutton from Geekosity Magazine. Mikey, how you doing?
Doing well, and I promise not to talk about demonic hentai porn tonight. So.
No, I'm okay with. I had no issue with that. That didn't bother me.
Please, I had nightmares that night. Yes.
Max is the one that was having trouble with it. Me, I'm just like, bring it on, you know. Like I'm the one that's going to sit there and respond with "Your mother sucks cock in hell." You know, it's like there we go. For anyone who doesn't know what that is, Google it. Well, maybe. Just it's from The Exorcist, but still Google it. You might find something. Who knows? There's a lot of interesting things on the internet these days. We're also joined tonight by Mad Max the Mandalorian. Max, how you doing?
I'm great. I'm happy to be here with Mikey Sutton. I'm very, I'm positive towards the future of the Snyderverse. I have some questions for Mikey. I have a theory is the most likely scenario that it could go forward in some way, in some form, not like 100% the way we Snyderverse fans would want, but there's opportunities for sure. So I've in the past said I'm 50-50 on it. It could not happen, but I think there's lots of opportunities. And I heard something about Crow and Matt. And I think he's going to at least eat some of the crow at some point.
I made that comment yesterday, though. I made that comment yesterday.
Waterworld. Come on. I called that.
Yeah, you did. I think. Yes. Yeah. You're talking about Waterworld and whatnot.
I said
and so
something that needs a reboot, and they always do reboots of stuff that's well received. What about stuff that's not that well received? Waterworld, yes. Van Trachtenberg.
Wow. Well, as we talked about last night, Waterworld has in fact done well on home video and found a bit of a cult audience. So ultimately, the movie was profitable for Universal. And again, no one ever likes to talk about like the ancillary markets on these things because they always like to try to think that everything is just like, you know, I don't know, terrible or something. If a movie flops in theaters, they think it's not going to do well on the home video market unless someone makes a big stink about it. But oftentimes, movies will find a way to make some money on the back end. But speaking of money, I just want to shout out HBart's here right off the bat. $5 super chat, man. Thank you. Coming in with a spicy hot take saying Snyderverse is dead. Let the past die. Kill it if you have to. Even referencing The Last Jedi.
Oh, wow.
Kylo Barts.
Kylo Barts, man. You're going to have to drop the Kermit and go straight for the Kylo. Although, if you get an image of him from The Last Jedi where he is showing off his chest but no belly button, oddly enough, that might make some people turn their heads and go, damn, that guy.
You should just put H. Bart's face on Kylo's body with Rey on the next scene where there's Force Skyping.
Yeah, they almost force phone sexed.
Yeah,
and
I'll tell you what,
it was fascinating.
That's the one thing about the sequel trilogy that I thought was good. I thought they had some chemistry there. I was like, all right.
I mean, no, think about it for a second.
I'm not hating on Reylos.
Think about that for a second. Like the way that they were going, like they were able to physically touch one another and be in the same place at the same time. They were so going to have sex. Like that's not even a question. Like Ryan Johnson probably wrote a whole XXX sequence that he just cut out and kept on his hard drive.
Everyone criticizes that, but if you could do it, you would use that. Definitely.
Yeah, my Canadian online girlfriend would have been so much easier to connect with back in the 90s. Duh. She's totally real, you guys.
You don't want to connect to that catfish.
She's totally real, I swear. Anyway, I do want to give a shout out. We got a new channel member last night. Oh, I think I grabbed the wrong screenshot here.
Good job.
I did.
Thanks,
I put the right name in. I put the right channel. Yeah, it's McLeod, and I spelled it wrong, so I'll fix it for tomorrow. But we've got almost a full page here. I'm gonna have to start opening up the center column.
Let's give a round
here.
of applause to all these channel members showing support for the Jarbo.
I appreciate that.
For real. They're really Matt's having to come back, and it's all thanks to you guys, for real.
Yeah, and there's been some new patrons that have popped up. Again, some new tiers are going to be popping on up. Patreon.com/Matt Jarbo. It's a great way to keep this going on a nightly basis. I really like it. I'm hoping to get more guests and bring back fan favorites and things like that. And so as we move into the last part of the year, where hey, guess what? There's actually movies that are taking place. That are actually happening. It's going to be a lot of fun to see what people have to say about all that and open up some good conversations real quick. But we do have another super chat here. Rodney P, $5 says, give me a reboot of Demolition Man and The Running Man underappreciated classics. I don't want a reboot of either of those. I just want like a sequel. Because the Demolition Man is one of my absolute all-time favorite movies. And the very first episode of Patio Commentary I ever did, which is nowhere near what it is now, was all about Demolition Man. And then Enosh and I did an episode talking about Demolition Man. I'm a big Demolition Man nut job. So I don't want that changed one bit. You don't change one hair on that sweet baby's head. All right.
Yeah, and those are two films that found an audience on video after your theatrical. And they have cult followings as well.
I just love the fact that The Running Man was a Bachman book, and I didn't know at the time that Bachman was Stephen King. So, and a lot of people don't know that either, that he had another pen name that he went under. And so a lot of stuff there is pretty great. And then also, man, H-Bart's here with another $5. Thank you so much. Says, I like how you say the Snyderverse is over and people get mad real quick. Well, they do. Especially when I say it, because I say it a lot, and like I get kind of hyperbolic about it.
Commissioner Gordon, come on, H-Barts. Come on, H-Barts. That's not, that's just that's kind of continuing the Snyderverse.
There's definitely, the Commissioner Gordon thing was a thing from last night, and I made jokes about that, and we can actually dive into, we'll just kick it off right now talking about that. But I do want to address something real quick here. We have the very first speaking out from Bob Odenkirk himself, telling everyone that he is in fact okay. And that is something that I think a lot of people out there are really wanting to know more about, because everyone loves Bob Odenkirk.
He's lucky. It happened around a lot of people, because sometimes it happens when you're alone and then it's too late. So that's great that he's doing okay.
And so right now, he says here, I had a small heart attack, but I'm going to be okay thanks to Rosa Estrada and the doctors who knew how to fix blockage without surgery. Also, AMC and Sony support and help throughout this has been next level. I'm going to take a beat to recover, but I'll be back soon. And that is just awesome. Everyone I know was like, hoping amongst, that he was going to be fine. And the good thing about celebrities and people who I guess you could say are of merit, they generally have good health professionals around them. So if you can get to it fast enough, they're okay. He was on set when he collapsed. They were able to quickly get him to a hospital. And it's definitely something that I just wanted to take a second to talk about, because I've always liked Bob Odenkirk, for over 20 years since the show, Mr. Show with Bob and David. And then, seeing him just throughout the years on Breaking Bad and all the other shows and movies he's popped up on, he's become one of my all-time favorites. And so I'm very happy.
One of the best character actors around. He's incredible.
Yeah, definitely. All right. And then, oh, wow. Okay. We just had an interesting little tweet brought to my attention from TW here in the chat. Speaking of, as we get into the conversation surrounding anything involving movie theaters and where things are going now, apparently Clifford the Big Red Dog has been pulled from September release amid Delta variant concerns. This is going to be something that, again, with the fallout over Black Widow, which we'll be talking about, with the Jungle Book looking to only pull, or not Jungle Book, Jungle Cruise looking only to pull in 25 million in theaters this weekend, unless there is a big turnout for The Rock, of which I don't know, there might be. It's definitely something where we're going to be seeing the fall movies really taking an interesting swing. At the same time, does anyone give a shit about Clifford the Big Red Dog?
I thought they pulled it because he looked creepy. That's creepy.
Yeah, I thought they should pull it. Don't say because they could say because Delta variant covers or Delta variant concerns, but they really should be doing it because he looks like an abomination unto God. and it's one of the most.
He looks like a hell dog in live action, like it as a cartoon.
It's like Hades as a child, before it grew its second and third heads when it hit puberty. It's just like hi everyone, I'm Clifford the big red dog, and then you're looking at this like. Okay.
Is someone else, hey, Mikey, do you know if any other actor is suing a studio?
Yes.
There's like 3 that I heard of today.
There's a couple. Yeah, we'll talk about that as when we get to that particular segment. We're going to be quickly talking about Dwayne The Rock Johnson. But real quick here, H-Barts did drop a $10 super chat. Thank you very much, H-Barts. You're on fire, man. Where's Elmo? He's got to come up. Where's Elmo? Sorry, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna make an attempt. It's almost at the end of the month. Anyway, he says here, just because characters are coming back, it's not Snyder until Zack is back. I also don't hate the Snyderverse. I own the thing on Blu-ray and 4K, and even bought you and Enosh a copy. That is true. Because of H-Barts here, I do have a 4K copy.
That's great, H-Barts. I appreciate you support Matt, but I completely disagree. I don't think you have to have Zack. I think that's what we would love. I'd like to hear Mikey. But it doesn't have to necessarily be Zack directing and to have the Snyderverse restored. They can continue some character arcs. It doesn't have to be the full continuation in some form. You can continue, and then you at least throw a bone to the fandom. It's not going to please everyone, but it can eat little Easter eggs. And my whole theory on this is that I think they're really happy with Ben Affleck on set of The Flash, the way people are reacting to him being as Batman. And then,
as I said, and I'm sure Mikey will agree with me, they've been the ones leaking that information all week.
Yeah, I have verified that already. Even though we got a cease and desist from Warner over it, like, come on.
Did you see the video footage though? I mean, that shit was shot in 4K, like literal 4K on a tripod. They're like, and then I saw other photos that were from like a set, like Alarmy, the stock photo company, had like high res images of the Batfleck stunt double, complete with the Alarmy like watermarking over it, and you're like, and they're selling it. So obviously people are there on set in order to be able to get this. So I find it to be like. Hold on. I want to see if I could find this again. The Flash. Shoot. Let's see if I could find this this image from Alarmy, because it's just it's so crazy. Like just how they've got is this the website here? No, it's alarm.no. No. I'm trying to find Alarmy, and it's all like it's an alarm clock thing. Anyway. Oh, there we go. It's high resolution stock photo and imaging. Let's see. All right. Ben Affleck. I'm just going to try a Batman. Can we see here? All right. Viewpoint date taken last 7 days. Yeah. I mean, like, here we go. I'll just bring the page up because you guys should be able to see it. But this is something that's actually going on right now. Like, people are actually like, they're look at this. This is straight up from the shoot the other day. And but the Bat logo is different. It looks a little different than, but it's also just whatever. But I mean, and it's got the watermarking on it. It's clearly shot from set. It's you can even see like the little, like how they're going to add CG to the front tires right there. And you can get this for personal use for $20. Presentation or newsletters, edit. Yeah, I don't know what I would use. What's personal use for this one? Personal prints, cards, and gifts, or reference for artists, non-commercial use only. Or can get it in a presentation or a newsletter here for like a PowerPoint or a keynote. I don't know. I don't know. It's just like, and it was shot in Glasgow, Scotland. So this is clearly Keaton's Batman.
Well, just for. Like, for instance, and I'd love to hear Mikey, it's just for the future, it's much easier to place Ben Affleck in other properties as Batman than Robert Pattinson. And I don't know if all those rumors are true, if he's a little bit prima donna with Matt Reeves. I don't know if that's true or not. It just seems like that right this time, they seem to be really happy with him, especially with the leaks of these pictures. And it's very probable that this is the most likely scenario for some type of continuation besides Ayer and a direct sequel to the Justice League right now. This is the most possible in the near future, just because of the way people react. Everyone seems happy about this, and everyone, even with Batman v Superman, the one thing they said is, "Man, Ben Affleck was good as Batman, though," even though people didn't like it.
Well, yeah, a lot of people really enjoyed Ben Affleck in the movie. They really enjoyed, BVS and everything. And I would argue that they say here that showing Batman stunt double, but it doesn't say which Batman. And it's in Glasgow City Center, which is where they filmed, the original '89 Batman. And so this is meant to be Gotham. This is '89 Batman Gotham. And because Gotham was shot in Detroit for Batman, for Justice League and BVS, that was or at least BVS was Detroit. So I don't know if this is Batfleck or if this is meant to be Keaton, because it could be either one. That chin,
I think I think it's Batfleck, but well,
I mean, here's the thing with that too, is also Ben Affleck is not over. He's not over filming the movie right now.
Yeah, he's being Batman right now with.
He really is. He really is. Yeah.
I'm jealous. Yeah.
No, I'm not even making this up. At least I can find the image here because I found it the other night.
You saw that picture, right?
Yeah, I saw the picture. I saw the picture.
If you put Sadat Fleck in one part of an image and then that in the other, it's like, man, he's okay now.
Yeah, I know. It's all like everyone last year. Ben Affleck's with Ana de Armas, man. He must be doing really good. And then he breaks up with Ana de Armas, and now he's back with J-Lo, and everyone's like, he's back with J-Lo, man. Like, my God. And everyone's like, y'all remember Geely? Y'all remember Geely? That was a movie. That was a thing. But here's the thing too: is you got and again, people have been saying. I saw people saying this on social media because they saw Ben Affleck buy like a private jet or something, and they're like, he's filming. He's on his way to film The Flash, and this was him just 4 days ago.
And kids, that's canon.
That's canon. Yeah, Batman's a hero. He's sitting there, and J-Lo, she's 52, he's like 51, and then he's got his hand on her butt, and he's looking out there like, yep.
Yeah.
At this point, this man is not questioning his life choices.
I'm Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. Like, don't you know who I am? I'm the Juggernaut, bitch. Like, it's just that, of course. Is really where things are. We're at the wait and see on that one. It's going to be very interesting. Hold on here. H Bart's here with another $5, man. Thank you. Says, if Affleck is playing Batman for his son, if I were his son, I would be like, Dad, make a full Batman movie, bruh. And you got to add that bruh in there 100%. But if they are in the UK, it would be bruv. You never know. I think he wants to do it. I think he wants to clearly come back for one more role. This is going to be either a sacrificial thing at the end, signifying his end, or it could open up to doing something on HBO Max. If the Jim Gordon thing is real and they do get J.K. Simmons back for Batgirl, that indicates that this takes place in Batfleck. And so we're going to be able to find out more about what's going on. Now, Aladdin here makes a great point. He says, no more sad Affleck. I'm sick of that meme. Yeah, now we're with happy Affleck.
Yeah, right? Now he's Batman. Come on, he's happy. I mean, look at that.
There is no such thing as sad Affleck anymore. Sad Affleck is gone. Sad Affleck is like, happy Affleck is like, I'm eating that ass. That's what's happening. That's what's going on right now. He's like, look at me. Look at him. He's got like that look like, yeah.
There's a look of satisfaction on his face. They're like,
100%. 100%. Fourth year says, no way he comes back just to get killed off. That's stupid. Is it though? Is it really that stupid?
Because that's what Hamada wanted.
Hamada wanted, yeah, that would make sense. Yeah. Now, obviously, Mikey here has some more insight on that one.
Yeah.
And we're definitely going to be talking about that. So why don't we head on over to the Dwayne Johnson portion of the show, where it says here that Dwayne Johnson's Black Adam producer addresses Henry Cavill's Superman fight rumors. This has been going on for a while. I know you've reported on this, Mikey.
Yeah, 2 years ago. It's just been something I've been hearing a lot. Like The Rock really wants this to happen. Not in the first one, but have Cavill do a cameo and then sets up the second movie. Whenever I do scoops, I notice the most successful ones I've gotten is ones where I follow the money. Because the creative people, the scripts change and everything, but money is money. And, The Rock has been wanting this since the beginning. He's like, Black Adam versus Superman, Cavill versus The Rock. I mean, who would not want to see that? You know?
Oh yeah, I'm 100% wanting to see that, and I think that, and I've said before, and I stand by it. I think the person to continue the Snyderverse effectively would
What?
probably end up
Huh?
being The Rock.
Yeah, yeah.
But at the same time, another thing to consider with that is also that now, is it going to be the Snyderverse or is it going to be the Johnsonverse? Because we have to take that into consideration as well. We do, Max. We absolutely do. Now, here's what they said when talking about these rumors. Hiram Garcia, who is one of the producers over at $7 Productions, says, "Hard to say, but I know that it would be incredible if it ever did happen. We certainly know fans want it, and all I can say is that we're always listening to the fans and doing what we can."
That made me laugh so hard. That last line there is a total slap on Hamada and Warner Media because they listen to the fans. You know,
So
I mean, it's a subtle jab, but
it feels like a bit of a subtle jab considering everything that's going on, but they also might be knowing how to kind of maybe manipulate the situation a little bit.
Yeah.
And I have a thought about that too.
You're right. Yeah.
So the same director of Jungle Cruise is a Spanish director. I can never pronounce his name, so I'm not even going to try. But he's also doing Black Adam, and you know, The Rock picked him. The Rock picked him for Jungle Cruise. The Rock picked him for Black Adam. They clearly have a thing they want to do together. And The Rock has been out there saying, like, this guy's a romantic. This guy gets it. He's like Hollywood's best kept secret. He's hyping up this director. Now, I'm going to tell you this. I watched Jungle Cruise today. I checked it out this morning. And it's not that the movie was bad. It's that the movie wasn't great. Mm-hmm. And this is a movie that I even said, I'm like, you can watch this movie now. You can watch this movie next week. You can watch it 8 months from now. And there's no timeliness to this film.
No one's going to rush out in a pandemic for this one.
I mean, like, others, it was in, yeah, they may be. I mean, it was only looking to do $25 million in the opening weekend. That's what I saw. It could do better. It's possible it might do better. I don't know. This situation right now with Scarlett Johansson has a lot of people asking if The Rock is going to sue. He's not going to sue. There's other reports today that came out saying he wasn't going to sue. And it's because clearly Disney made a deal with him beforehand. And that deal was because he's the producer on the film and his production company was behind it. So it's in it, you know, even though Scarlett was a producer on Black Widow, and that was something she negotiated for, I would argue that it was more of maybe an in-name only sort of thing, versus being a hands-on producer. Whereas I think The Rock was more of definitely, him and his team were definitely more hands-on. And I think that there are some very large criticisms with Jungle Cruise as a whole, that are really kind of like, ooh, okay, it's like the CG is a big problem. Some of the acting wasn't the best in the movie, and it just felt like, again, it was over 2 hours long, and it could have been 90 minutes clean, you know? So there's a lot there that didn't need to be there, and there's a lot of things that didn't really need to be there. But I will say that the general twist was really interesting, and the story in and of itself was really fascinating, although I kind of did hate the ending. So that was my thing with that.
So how does this compare, for instance, to another Disney adventure franchise, National Treasure? I mean, is it on that level at least?
No, National Treasure is way better. This National Treasure is way better.
I love those movies, and they were so much fun.
Well, because I feel like John Turteltaub actually played to Nicolas Cage's strengths.
Yeah,
you know, like, I'm gonna go steal the Declaration of Independence. You know, like, I mean, it was such an absurd concept in 2003 when the movie came out, and it also came out a few months after Pirates of the Caribbean did. Mm-hmm. So there was a lot going on at that time, and it was a Disney production, a Jerry Bruckheimer production, as well as Pirates. Everyone is comparing this movie to Pirates of the Caribbean, when in reality, compare it to 1999's The Mummy, because it is almost identical in regards to characterization and story. I'm not even making that up.
Yeah, I can see stylistically, I can see similarities. Yeah,
that's a good thing.
Well, I mean, there's sometimes
I like Emily Blunt, but sometimes in these popcorn flicks, she just is kind of boring.
No, Emily Blunt in this one, she is not like, if you think of like Rachel Weisz's character Edie in The Mummy, she was kind of like not necessarily a helpless maiden, but at times she was kind of, green behind the ear, or she was wet behind the ears and all that kind of stuff, right? Here, Lily's character, Emily Blunt's character, Lily is very capable. Like in the opening of the movie, it shows her like more or less doing an Indiana Jones style thing. She's extremely capable. But there's one part in the movie where she does something that it's so like, I get why they did it, but it's so fundamentally absurd and it just ends in a really bad joke. And I'm like, okay, like you guys are just trying to fill time. If it feels like a Jerry Bruckheimer produced movie without the stylings of Jerry Bruckheimer. And that of course comes in from like, you know, people that are trying to push out this gigantic CG monster of a film. But it's not bad. Like it is interesting, but the villains could use a lot more work, I think, because there's multiple villains in the movie. And you don't really seem to care much because no one ever looks at Jesse Plemons as being like an intimidating foe, right? Like the guy from, you know, he was in like Friday Night Lights as like the nerdy guy who hooks up with Adrian Paladecki. He's at this point, he's married to Kirsten Dunst, you know, like he's married to her and cause they were on Fargo together, but he's not the intimidating type guy. And here he plays this German royalty that has a very thick accent and is kind of, you know, like played for a little bit of comic relief at times. And it doesn't make a lot of sense. There's stuff in the movie with his character there. All right. And then like, you know, but I will say his death was pretty cool. I did like his death. So it's not a bad movie. It's just like not something that I think is going to turn anyone's heads. There's a reason why I think the Rotten Tomatoes score is what it is. But the audience reaction is like at a 94%, I think.
You're getting all these screeners.
Yeah, I think it's just The Rock. It's just they love The Rock, and that's why, you know.
Yeah, well, and the thing is, like, that's why I call him the world's greatest entertainer. But he's not a movie star. He's just not a movie star. Like you could, honestly, I'll just say this: he is at this point he is too old for this character. For this character, I mean, well, ultimately, no, he isn't. But like for the type of character that he is, because he's in his 50s now, or he is 50. And you can feel it in this movie. You can feel his age in this movie. And so it's like everything that he's doing, it feels like you would want someone who is in maybe like the 35 to 38-year-old range. Because Emily Blunt is like, she's also in her 30s. He's in his 50s. You know, it's like Tom Cruise is in his 50s, but he always has like a female actor who is like 20 years his junior as the love interest. And that ends up being an issue in and of itself, right? So here's very similar things. And but the two have good chemistry together, and that is good. I mean, the whole cast, the main cast has good chemistry together. But at the end of it, you're just like, oh, okay, it's nothing to write home about. And the guy who directed it, his first movie was 2005's House of Wax. So it's like he's come a long way from doing that terrible ass movie. But he did a bunch of Liam Neeson films that are kind of run of the gamut for quality.
Yeah.
And so we'll have to wait and see what happens with Black Adam, but it could be, I don't quite know.
I hope he pulls it off.
I do too. Now, H Bars here says if Black Adam flops, then The Rock will likely be like, "Hey Kevin, I'm coming over." And again, I think that as well. I think The Rock put out there because remember, like, was it last year?
He fits better in DC, like the more muscles.
Oh no,
I don't there's something about DC that's really muscular.
Oh no, there absolutely is. In that regard, you're right. But what I mean is, like last year or the other year or whatever, there was this big publicized meeting with Kevin Feige that The Rock had. And that was something that I think I might have said at the time was just more or less a way to push DC into greenlighting Black Adam because it had been so long that he had been attached to this role that it was probably like, I'm going to sit there and put out this thing that I'm talking to Kevin Feige and that I might go over to Marvel. And that should force Hamada and DC to open up their damn checkbooks and cut him some money to make this.
Yeah, there was the threat of him playing Namor. That was what he was trying to get across there because they were looking for Namor at the time that he met with Feige.
Okay.
So you gotta, go forward by Black Adam, or I'll be Namor, across the street.
Yeah. Well, let me quickly get to this H-Bars chat. I missed this one. Sorry, buddy. He says here, if Affleck survives this movie and if they bring Henry Cavill back for Black Adam sequel or Shazam 2, then I'm good with not having Justice League 2 or 3. And okay. I think a lot of people are okay with that as well. I think as long as they keep the characters alive
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like ideally, it's Zack comes back.
Stop denying. Like they actively tried to deny the Snyderverse for a while with Birds of Prey and all that other stuff.
Oh,
They
and trust
stopped
me,
that shit.
you don't. Once you watch Suicide Squad, you'll be like, "Fuck Birds of Prey," like just fuck Birds of Prey. I mean,
Did you see
my
it,
God.
Mikey? Did you see it yet?
Not yet. No, I mean, I could have gone to the screening, but I had so much work to do.
Okay.
But Birds
I'll
of
tell
Prey,
you this though. It
Birds
would have been
of
great
Prey,
last night
guys.
because I went from Tacoma. I met my friend in Tacoma. We went to Linwood, and there
Yeah,
was no traffic.
Man, I used to go to Linwood all the time, like 2 or 3 times a week. I used to go to Linwood.
Yeah, but I mean, like, no traffic on a
Wow, that's
Thursday
crazy,
at
man.
5.
What?
Going northbound.
How is
Going
that
northbound.
possible?
I don't know. It took me an hour to get from Olympia to Tacoma, and that's not that far.
Dude, there were times where it took me 3 hours to get home from Linwood. I mean, the traffic is so bad. That's crazy.
I know it's nuts, but Suicide Squad is worthwhile. Definitely check it out when it drops
I'll
next
definitely
week.
watch it. Yeah.
McLeod here says thank you, by the way. And McLeod, I did see you become a channel member, dude. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, man. I know I'm trying to clap. You came in last night, except I misspelled your name and I saved the wrong image. But anyway, now he says here, this is all part. Shut up. This is all part of The Rock's shtick. He always hypes everything up he's involved in, no matter what or how big or how small his involvement is. Don't forget, he's also a businessman with a constant sales pitch. It's all about the hustle, and that is very true. That's very true.
Very, very true.
And like I said, he was absolutely built. You know, he's been pimping up the director a lot, and that goes to show you that is a good charisma thing. It's you know, boosting up your friends and giving them the spotlight, and you know, it teaches people that you are definitely all about other people and you're not about yourself. I don't think he's a selfish individual. I don't think I've ever said that. I don't believe The Rock is a selfish guy. I think he's a good entertainer. I think he's a friendly, lovable person. But there is Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and then there is The Rock, and the two are kind of separate from each other because The Rock is all show. Dwayne is all business.
It's very much like the new Arnold Schwarzenegger to me. Except I think Dwayne probably has better business skills than Arnie did, but they fit the very similar mode.
They do, but Arnie, I think Arnie, like, he picked them better, man. You know,
he did.
You can't, because you can sit there and you can look at Arnie in like the 80s and you're like, all right, so Terminator was one that I think, like, you know, he wasn't even going to do it, I think, in the beginning.
Yeah, he played a villain. You know?
Yeah, and then he chose to do it, and it became so iconic that they made him the hero of the next movie, which was great. And then there's like, you got like Red Heat, and then you've got Commando.
Don't forget Conan the Barbarian.
Not so much
Milius.
Conan the Destroyer, right?
Oh yeah, that's PG-13.
Yeah, but then he decided to jump into the comedy with Twins, and Twins was fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Kindergarten Cop, which as an Oregon boy, that was kind of our jam. That and the Goonies both being from the same city, you know, and like so. But then Jingle All the Way is a Christmas classic, and there's a lot there that's come out that Schwarzenegger has done. Never mind, like, you know, look at Last Action Hero. And then he did like things like Eraser, which was actually pretty decent. The Sixth Day wasn't the best. True Lies, I think, is one of his best works.
Underrated movie too, James Cameron.
Wholly underrated James Cameron flick. And I mean, the thing is, he chose these movies that have done well culturally, and I don't believe that The Rock has been able to do things that are like that. I think he tries to.
And he's been longing for that for a while.
Yeah, and he's got my support in trying to get there, but it's like. Yeah. I just don't see him now as being that guy. I think he's kind of gone past that point. Whereas I think when he started off his career 20 years ago with like The Rundown and Walking Tall, if he would have stuck with those, and like Scorpion King especially, King was ridiculous of him to not go and do the sequels. I understand that the build up into The Mummy Returns would have made him become the bad guy, but they could have found a way to make it to where like he wasn't. It was like more of a misunderstanding sort of thing, to where like you could understand why he would do it. But like he did these movies that did spawn sequel. Well, The Rundown never spawned a sequel, but Kevin Sorbo took over the title role in Walking Tall 2 and 3, and then you had multiple different wrestlers taking on the role of the Scorpion King in those sequels, and then you know but he just kind of kept moving. And I think if he would have solidified those roots when he started his career, he would be in a much different place rather than doing the jumping that he does. And the jumping is not bad, but you know, it's like, just acknowledge that you're kind of a job whore. Let's just be fair. You know, acknowledge it a little bit.
It's funny because Warner's originally wanted him to play Shazam. He wanted Black Adam. Black Adam was his favorite character. He read those Justice Society comics from the early 2000s. I was a big fan.
Yeah.
And he said, "No, I want Black Adam."
It is weird to be even all the mess ups that Warner Brothers has done. It's a weird to be in a world where the Flash is actually filming, and and Black Adam finished filming, and they're in post production.
The Rock finished on Black Adam.
Oh, The Rock.
They're still. Noah Centino came out the other day and was like, "We're still working on this thing for like 6 months."
I didn't know that.
So The Rock, his primary, again, he got in, he got out quick.
Well, because he's so busy. They probably
he's so busy. He's doing other stuff, right? Yeah. So they probably had to wrap up production so he could do the Jungle Cruise promotional tour. Then they're still going to be finishing up Red Notice, which comes out later on this year, I think in November.
But isn't that weird, Netflix. Though? How many years of movie talk that they said, "Oh, we're going to eventually do these films," even then they effed up a bunch.
They definitely fucked up a bunch here. HBart's here with $5 says there are 3 sides to him: Dwayne, The Rock, and the Rick. Damn right, the Rick. The Rick is only a part of the Hollywood After Dark lore, but the Rick is HBart's version of the Rock. It's Pickle Rock. It's. Thank God no one's asking me to do voices tonight.
Yeah, he still took pain in game where he's cooking human flesh.
Yeah. Cylon here says, I heard we were playing with fire, so I showed up. Thank you very much. You could smell what we're cooking. But Shiftygism here says, The Rock should have pushed to be Superman when it was clear Returns wasn't getting a sequel. The dude has no iconic roles to his career. It's a shame. And I think that is a big thing.
Yeah.
I think that's a big thing. That because there's no... Black Adam is his last attempt at an iconic role.
Yeah.
It is. And I know people will listen to this, they'll be like, you always hating on The Rock. I'm like, no, I'm legitimately looking at his career.
Kind of.
I know, but I'm looking at his career, and it's like, you can tell. Look at Hercules, dude, from 2013. That was meant to be his big summer blockbuster, man.
He looked silly.
Brett Ratner directing a Hercules movie. That was a big and iconic
thing.
Man,
that was really
and that was a terrible movie. Look at
the thing is, even if it's successful, would DC be able to keep up with The Rock? Because he's like, I'm ready for the sequel.
I think that's the thing they're gonna have to worry about, is really trying to keep up, because if it really does boil down to the fact of whether or not Black Adam is going to be a success. And again, what we're going to see here is Jungle Cruise is going to kind of be a bit of a litmus test for that. Red Notice over on Netflix is going to be a very large litmus test for that. But then again, that movie's got Gal Gadot and Ryan Reynolds in it, so it's not just The Rock that's going to be the main person in that movie. It's not just him. And Black Adam is going to be just him. Emily Blunt has her fan base that's might be going to see Jungle Cruise as well. But Black Adam is The Rock, and this is his last chance. This is if it fails,
I don't know if it's the last.
It's his last chance, dude.
At his age, so I mean, he's already in his 50s.
At this age, if it doesn't work out very well, we're just gonna get nothing but Hobbs and Shaw sequels out of him. Like, that's what's gonna happen.
I don't think they're even gonna do that. I think that's done.
Maybe. I think he's going to come back for Fast 10 and Fast 11. I know there was that comment that he'd made the other day when they were talking, because there's still a beef between him and Vin, obviously.
Well, he to be honest, he's great. Rock is amazing, but it will be very frustrating to be in the industry and be an action star, because any project that comes up, he's like, yeah, I'll do it. He probably takes jobs away from action stars all the time. No offense to The Rock. I love
No,
Rock.
I think
but it'd be hard to be his competition. It'd be like, oh shit.
Yeah. And that's the thing.
This is a great script. Oh, said it to Dwayne? Damn it.
Shiftygism here says action stars need iconic roles. The only big action star that doesn't really have one is Statham. Statham's got the Transporter, man. That may not be as iconic as you want, but I fucking adore the Transporter first.
The first one.
Was
brilliant.
The second one was fun. The second one was fun. Third one was terrible. But I love the first one. He's also been tied with you've got the Expendables franchise, you got Fast and Furious franchise. He's done like War. He's done the Mechanic movies. He did. I mean, that War with Jet Li was not a great film, but it's one that he did. He's done Crank franchise. That's iconic as fuck. I don't care what anyone says, dude. Crank is iconic because that was such a weird thing.
Do you have any juicy tidbits on the future of any DC or Hamada or anything? Got anything going on?
Well, depends on what topic we're going to be on.
Yeah, well, yeah, we can move on here. I know we've been on him for a while. I know.
I'm just always curious.
Yeah.
Well, John is like his last. That's funny, John. I'm saying that's his last attempt at getting a big franchise. Because eventually he's going to get to the point of where he's got to slow down. I'm telling you this right now. This is what The Rock needs to do. Look at what Emily Blunt did. Look what Emily Blunt and John Krasinski did. They went and John did A Quiet Place, and that was a small, low budget horror movie that was well made, and it blew the hell up because people love horror movies, and horror movies can revitalize those kind of careers. They really can. Because it gets it out to different people, and it's not just like the standard. I'm just gonna say it: the mouth breathing wrestling fans. People don't go to wrestling for high art.
Cancel Jarbo.
They don't go to wrestling for high art. I'm sorry.
You know what? That's one fandom I never want to mess with because I'm not a huge wrestling fan. But then you start talking like that. There are so many wrestling.
No, I know.
fans.
I know. But
Hey, RJ, are you here?
RJ, well, we do have Ty Pop Culture Corners popping by.
Hey, Ty.
What's up, dude?
What's up, guys? I left the
let's-
vodka stream for this, so
That's good. That's good. This is a better place to be. As far as I can tell, we have more viewers.
terrible.
No, I love Dave. I love Dave. I love Dave.
Time we just wanted to talk about Zack Snyder.
I know RJ here is like, don't fuck with wrestling. I'm not. I'm just giving him all a hard time.
That's
I'm giving
true.
him all a hard
That's
time.
true.
But H Bart's here $5 says, I like The Rock, but he needs to slow down at some point.
Yeah.
Dude is always never resting. And I get it. He's at the height of his career. Why would he? 100%. But I do think a horror movie or some kind of like, maybe some more introspective indie film that would earn him praise for his acting ability would maybe go a little bit further to reaching out to the audiences of people that don't just like mindless entertainment. Look at Melissa McCarthy. Melissa McCarthy was like she did that one indie film recently that like earned her a lot of praise. But then she goes off and she does that Thunder Force movie for Netflix.
I was just gonna say, is he talking about Thunder Force?
No. It was that one where she plays a forger, and it was based on a true story. Like these actors, they like to act, and my thing with The Rock is The Rock doesn't really act. The Rock just plays himself.
Restore the Thunder Force.
And it's like that's kind of the bigger issue. Now I will say that Ryan here makes a great point. Ryan here makes an awesome point. He says, I'd argue that his role as Maui from Moana is his most iconic role. And I would say that, because I still kind of find myself humming You're Welcome, because I have my kids and we watch Moana pretty frequently because I think it's a great film. And I do love him in that movie a lot. And I think he did a great job because it was like him, but it was a Disney-fied version of him, which is maybe just a bit more, what we should see, but we'll have to wait. Obviously, but thank you for that, Ryan. And then let's see. H Bart's here with another $5 says, I love wrestling, but I don't like the most Rock films. Also, if you've ever seen 90s All Japan, it's pure greatness. Don't tempt me, Charbo. Send me some clips. DM me on Twitter some of those clips, man, so I can at least say what's going on.
So how did you guys get on The Rock? Did you
we
guys
were-
see Jungle Cruise yet?
I saw Jungle Cruise today. Yeah,
Is it bad or is it good?
it's not bad. It's not great. It's
I heard
it's
the villain
fun.
was pretty bad.
Which one?
Both of them.
The
the
thing
same.
is the German villain. Like, yeah, he's kind of like what you don't view him as an intimidating person like ever. But Efraim Ramirez playing the Conquistador, there's an interesting story there. There's an actually really interesting, unique story there that I thought was really cool. And they spend like very little time on it. They just explain it and then they move on. And I'm like, that would have been really cool because of the lore of like the Spanish and going out to Latin America and South America and everything else. And also like all of like the mystery surrounding the Amazon and clearly all of the old legends off of that. It would have been pretty cool. But some of the, I don't know, it was kind of dumb in some cases. But the new Trader Sam was pretty cool.
All right. I've heard mixed, like super mixed reviews, and it's it's hard to tell when it's like so split like that.
Yeah. I would say if you can go see it. Real quick here, Anthony, I'm not doing Collins tonight, man. Tonight's just keeping it curated to some people that like to come on in. We'll do Collins tomorrow night, I promise you. But what we were talking about was the Rock, and there was the producer of Jungle Cruise talking about how they are listening to fans and how they want the Black Adam versus Superman. And that news on top of everything involving J.K. Simmons and that announcement yesterday through Hollywood Reporter, it does feel like maybe there are elements of some of the characters connected to Zack Snyder still having life in this universe.
And there's a Man of Steel that was a Variety or Hollywood Reporter was talking about is, in the works. Then there was obviously Ben Affleck in The Flash. Like the whole week, all of a sudden, we're getting all this very suspicious stories coming out. And everybody keeps asking me, hey, how's Jarbo doing now?
I'm not on suicide watch, okay? I'm not on suicide watch.
Jesus Christ.
I'm not there yet. All right, the knife is to the wrist, but we're across the road, not down the street.
You're terrible.
I'm like, dude, you have no idea. I made a joke last night. We were talking about like Star Wars, about like more Jar Jar Binks material, and I made a joke about like doing a Jar Jar Binks version of The Day the Clown Cried.
Oh God.
And
You need to be put down, Jarbo. You know that, right?
I probably need to. Yeah.
You need to be put down.
I know. How many years after Jerry Lewis died is that film be permitted to be shown? Do you remember, Jarbo?
It was like 50 years, I think, or somewhere in there.
I'll never see it, yeah.
We'll never. Yeah, I'll see it. I don't think you. Who knows? Who knows? I have a hernia, back problems, diabetic. I might die tomorrow. Anything can happen. But I'm a non-smoker, so 15 years. So like that is my one saving grace right now. However, sorry, go ahead.
No, go on. I was gonna say how'd you quit, but
I can talk about it
another day.
I can do it real quickly. I used a pen cap
to simulate.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And the key with that though is because I lived with smokers and I worked with smokers, and like 90% of my friends were smokers, and that is the hardest thing when people you live with and you work with and you're friends with them, they all smoke. That is the hardest thing because smoking is mostly a social sport. And so what I did is I kept a pen cap with me, a big pen cap, and I would puff on it. I'd take really big hits off of it because the deeper drag you take, the more it opens up your lungs and it simulates the effect of smoking. So you are able to still kind of get that euphoric effect without the chemicals from the smoke. And when you're talking about the physical addiction with like flicking the ash, it also serves as roughly the same size and shape as a filter. The key is to really do it around other people. And they're going to look at you weird and you're going to feel a little bit embarrassed. But after a while, you tell them you're trying to quit and they generally tend to understand. I did this. My friends took me out to a nightclub in San Diego. It was like reggae night and we were out there and like drinking like Jaeger bombs and shit. Woo! And I had run into a couple strippers that I knew. And so we're out on the patio and like I'm talking to them and I was like they're out there smoking. I'm out there smoking my pen cap. And they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm trying to quit smoking and this is how I'm doing it. And they're like, oh, cool. People don't believe me. No patch, no gum, never gone back. 15 years. That's all it took was just keeping with it. And I gave myself a 3-month window of prepping, mentally prepping. I missed the last cigarette I was supposed to smoke. I got a phone call at like 11:55 p.m. I was going to smoke it like right at midnight as the last little hurrah. Yeah. I got a call at 11:55 from like this girl I was trying to hook up with, and she distracted me. And then by the time I realized it was like 12:30 and like I had not smoked that cigarette, and I'm like, well, I said I was going to quit at midnight. It's now 12:30. I have the cigarette. I still have that cigarette actually. So that's still my token. That's what I look back on. I still have that cigarette 15 years later, and I have not smoked it.
My man.
So that's how you do it, man. It's
my one vice still is smoking. I gave up drinking and stuff, and for some reason it's that part that like I can't get it out.
No, I get you. Smoking is definitely a thing where it's hard to quit, but you guys can do it. Trust me, I believe in you. HBart's here, $5. I sent you the clips. Would love to see your reaction, even if negative. We'll definitely do that, buddy. Thank you. And then Resonant Justice here says they said The Day the Clown Cried will be released in 2024, or at least taken out of the vault. All right. So deep fake technology on that's gonna have a field day. Misa Jar Jar Binks.
It's so twisted.
could you just imagine like the commander of the base being Watto from Phantom Menace? That was part of my joke. It was pretty
So
bad.
wrong, so wrong.
Yeah, it is. It is wrong. Okay, so I know we have a great group of people here tonight, and I know people are also wanting to know, Mikey, if you got any specific scoops. We were talking about the DC. You made a comment to me yesterday, and you didn't fucking elaborate on it because like you were trying to get me to go watch your stream on Sill, which I couldn't do, and all you sent me was like just a very simple text saying Hamada's losing his grip. So and I had to go see Suicide Squad, which I really wish, by the way, that I had. Okay, Ty, did you notice in the opening credit sequence of Suicide Squad the executive producer slot card when that popped up?
No.
It said Zack Snyder, Deborah Snyder,
No,
Walter
it didn't.
Hamada.
Did it?
Yes, it did. Walter Hamada, and the two of them are right there on the same card. I was laughing so hard in the theater.
I mean, I
with that
saw
one.
the end credit
Wow,
with
I didn't even know.
Air.
Yeah.
Mikey, do you think we'll be surprised by The Flash that there's going to be little things that even Snyderverse fans or think they're going to hate the movie that we might actually be surprised?
Yeah, you're gonna be happily surprised by the
Happily
changes that were.
Okay.
And that script went through so many different changes, and I'm not that hopeful about the writer. I know Matt's not either.
Yeah, someone tried defending Christina Hodson to me today. They're just like, I really liked her work in Birds of Prey, and I thought Bumblebee was a well-written movie. And I'm
I
like
Bumblebee.
How?
Birds of Prey was not that bad.
I'll tell you this though. There's no fucking egg sandwich in fucking Suicide Squad, and that made up for everything.
There's one sequence with Harley that I was like, this is what I wanted from Birds of Prey.
As soon as that scene was done, I looked at my friend and I went like, that makes up for everything that Birds of Prey wasn't. Like right there, it was just that because it was the Suicide Squad is a really solidly good movie.
Yeah, and listen, I'm a diehard Snyder fan, right? Like, but I mean, me and Jairo have talked about it on here plenty of times. Like, sometimes you just got to accept what's in front of you, because even if you don't, that's still what you're getting.
Crow.
Yeah,
like Matt and Ty from Pop. Because I like you, Ty. I've been watching you on this show too. But you're kind of going the way of Jarbo. Maybe it's over. But what about Commissioner Gordon?
No, I'm loving.
That's restoring in some way.
Yeah, I mean, I've been saying this for a long time now. It's one thing to, like, it's one. Zach is over at Netflix. He's got his thing going on. Right. But we're getting these like, the Snyderverse. Maybe it does live on, but not in the way we perceive it to live on. Like it lives on with the characters that he built. Right. So, and that's not a bad thing. Like I'm going to support the Flash because Ezra and Ben and, everyone else, there's VFX people that worked on his scenes in the Snyder Cut. Like I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to support all the DC movies because I'm a DC fan. Just because Snyder wasn't making it, that doesn't mean, like I said, you got to accept what's in front of you.
You got to give creatives a chance. It's not their fault. They shouldn't have the baggage.
Yeah. James Gunn knocked it out of the park if I've ever seen it.
And Mikey, can't you attest that James Gunn and Zach are very friendly? They worked together before, so Zach was not one people dishing on.
Didn't James Gunn write Dawn of the Dead, right?
Yes, he did. Yeah.
Yeah. So they have great respect for one another. There's no bad blood there at all.
Right.
I think
we shouldn't interpret as fans what we think.
I think some fans are feeling a little sensitive right now because the air cut's not happening yet, and also James Gunn just represents the MCU in a way that I think Snyder fans have issues with. That I've talked to, they're like, I don't want that Guardian style in the DC movie. Is something I hear quite often.
You will not feel that way coming out of Suicide Squad.
I didn't even think of that once.
I didn't even think of it once. Like I thought, like I was really happy with how it turned out. Actually, I will say this: every time a new song came on, I thought about Guardians because like I knew like that was going to be his thing was going to be the soundtrack, and I didn't think the soundtrack was anywhere near as catchy as Guardians 1 or Guardians 2. Not to say that it wasn't appropriate for the scenes. It just, that didn't stick out to me in the same way that those movies did. Because I think pop culture played a larger part in those films rather than this.
The clip that scared people I know and scared them to death is the Nathan Fillion detachable body parts scene that really bothered a lot of the Snyder fans I knew. Like, they were like, "Oh my God, no! There's no way in hell. Boycott this." I mean,
that's the thing is the trailers honestly took certain aspects of it and like put it. Whoever cut the trailer, like the context is out because even the dick jokes they land so much better in context than they did in the trailer. And like I was the first one to be like,
okay.
And I think that was maybe my issue with it was like, I thought about it last night, kind of how I looked at Deadpool. I watched so much Deadpool of the marketing. I loved the marketing of Deadpool.
Yeah.
That when I saw the movie for the first time, it didn't really connect with me that well because I felt like I had already seen practically everything. And it wasn't until I actually watched like a cam copy of it on some website, like 3 nights later, I was surfing around. And I just said, fuck it, I'll watch it. And so I started watching this bootleg copy of the movie, and I found myself just busting up laughing in a way that I didn't the first time. And so that weekend, I took my girlfriend to go see it again, because I wanted to go see it again. And then when I saw it for that third time in that week, second time in theaters, I was laughing. And then she was quiet on the movie until it got to the Francis, like spelling out Francis and the dead bodies. And like he cut off that one dude's head and used it to dot the I. Yeah. And that hit her and she just busted up laughing. And then she was like, this is like the greatest movie I've ever seen. Yeah. So it's like, I mean, sometimes you've got to watch it without knowing anything about it. And sometimes you've got to watch it a couple times to kind of get the marketing out of your mind. If that makes any sense.
Something we got to remember too, because I'm in within the Snyder and Ayer cut fandom, but I kind of get frustrated how they're kind of not too happy about this new movie, the Suicide Squad. But we have to remember is we got the Zack Snyder's Justice League. But if you're like a real hardcore Ayer fan, they are getting the continuation where they're saying we're not going your route, and you don't get to see what the creator did right now for the Ayer cut. So Ayer cut fans are very frustrated right now. Because it's like it'd be like if they were releasing the Flash now, but we didn't get the Zack Snyder's Justice League, and then we're going a different route, and you still didn't get it. So that's the kind of the situation Ayer fans are in right now. It's like you get the continuation where they ignore the past, we're going a different way, and you don't get to see the past.
Well, I don't even think. I mean, it's not that they ignore the past. It's that, I mean, they acknowledge things when they need to acknowledge things. Like someone just asked in the chat as well, is like, does Harley, Rick Flag, and Boomerang know each other? Yeah. Like he makes it apparent that this movie definitely stands alone, but it also fits in the larger puzzle.
Yeah.
But what makes it beautiful is that it doesn't try to connect to the larger universe. It's definitely its own thing. And I think.
And I can respect that. I can really respect that because I feel like the camaraderie that's there. I love the camaraderie actually that played out between everybody. Like I said, you'll walk away from this movie and you'll all of a sudden become a Polka Dot Man fan. Like you and
Ratcatcher 2.
And Ratcatcher 2 is the shit. Like you will walk away very happy with this. So because I wanted to. So okay. So Mikey.
Yeah, and I want to go back to what you said about Walter Hamada losing his grip. I wasn't able to answer you as preparing for a show. The reason why I say that, it really began with the Belzod Michael B. Jordan project that was announced about a week or so ago. That was a project that Hamada did not want to greenlit. First of all, J.J. Abrams was irritated by this competing Black Superman project. He just wants his Black Superman to be uniquely, or just unique in particular, and not have another Black Superman to compare it with. So he was pretty irritated by that. But Hamada did not want to get this thing made, but HBO Max picked it up. And
doesn't he have any say in that? Like, because he's got that would have to go through Toby Emmerich.
Yeah, but AT&T was the one that said, no, we're doing this. So that I thought that was really interesting that happened. I remember I went on Phil's show, we discussed it. I said, you know, he didn't want to get this thing made, but AT&T stepped in again, like the Snyder Cut. They stepped in, like, no, we're going to do this for our streaming network, irritating JJ. And so you have Michael B. Jordan with the Black Superman. You know, everybody's going to compare the J.J. Abrams to his Jordans. Now, if Jordan plays the title role, I mean, why would you be even interested in what J.J. Abrams is doing? You know, you have this acclaimed actor, Michael B. Jordan, playing Black Superman. So that was where I was saying, hey, it looks like Hamada just got his hand slapped. And then also with the J.K. Simmons is another one. There was a casting call for Commissioner Gordon for Batgirl. J.K. Simmons was not supposed to be Commissioner Gordon.
Interesting.
Yeah, and so what I was hearing before is that this Batgirl project, it sounded bad because it was Batgirl without a Batman. Because they couldn't use Pattinson's Batman. Matt Reeves is very protective of his franchise. If Pattinson is going to appear as Batman anywhere else, it's a project that Matt Reeves is involved in.
Gotham PD one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so he didn't want even a mention of Pattinson's Batman or have this take place in Pattinson's, Bat universe. So they couldn't use Pattinson. Hamada didn't want to use Affleck for the Batgirl series and have no connection to the Snyderverse, which would mean having another Batman. And AT&T's like, there's too many fucking Batmans.
Right.
Like, no, you're not gonna.
Because there's also
like go out of your way to try to not do it. It just doesn't make financial sense or make the consumer confused.
There's also one on Titans too. So I mean, there's 3 technically, so it's to create another one would be just kind of.
You have Batman on Titans. You have Pattinson. You have Keaton back.
Yeah.
You have Affleck in the Flash. So.
Yeah, it's just Batman. Too many Batmen. Who would thought there's a world that we could ever say that?
Yeah, I know, right?
That's such a and what makes sense about that essentially is that, when they start talking about the multiverse, you're just like, yeah, they clearly know that Batman is what brings in the most from merchandise, that and Harley Quinn. So they probably want to make sure that that Batman is at least overrepresented, so they can do a multitude of different of merchandise for it. But I don't see Titans merch, and I don't see a lot. I don't see a lot of Batflip merch, and I don't see a lot of
I mean, there's goodwill that still needs to be restored for Ben too, based on the Warner Brothers history. So it's a good way to go forward. Throw a bone to the fans that are still really about Batfleck. And he's in a really good place mentally now.
Yes.
If you can look at J-Lo's I mean, come on. He's doing it.
Hold on. Let me bring
You're welcome, viewers.
There you go. There you go.
That's the one that they were talking about.
Yeah.
His hand on her bum.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That was just from a couple days ago too.
Like, you can see serenity in his eyes. He's like, yeah, I'm Batman.
He's like, I found the Holy Land.
I mean, they look like they're positive about him on set of The Flash. Yeah. So no matter what Hamada, if Mikey's on to something here with Hamada's losing his grip, and then they actually have Ben Affleck on set, and everyone's happy on set, and it looks great, and then you don't have to deal with the Matt Reeves and Pattinson, which I foresee Pattinson not being a team player for like multiple projects. Like, he has artistic integrity, which is great, but I just I don't see him being all over the place, even without Matt Reeves.
Yeah, that does make a lot of sense.
Yeah,
it's just easy.
And so this news of J.K. Simmons came a week after the Valzad were, HBO Max like, no, we're taking this project. We don't care what you think. All of a sudden, J.K. Simmons, what happened to that casting call? For Commissioner Gordon. It's like all of a sudden, HBO Max got what they wanted again. I was like, okay, I'm starting to see a trend here, you know, and I think he's losing his grip. You know, have you heard from Hamada since the merger announcement? Like, there's no quotes from him, nothing. It's in total silence. He hasn't been quoted anywhere. It's like an invisible man all of a sudden. You know, it's just weird. I mean, like he's hiding in his hamburger joint or something.
Right.
Well, no, keep in mind though. Also, we haven't heard much from him anyway.
Yeah,
so that is something that you have to remember. There is that when it came to the
they never mentioned his name though. They don't mention his name or anything.
Was the bad robot deal a mistake? A big waste of money?
No, because it's not gonna be exclusively DC content.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, they're looking for another loss. That's what they signed them for. Is some really cool, like cutting edge original property that blows everybody away and gets more subscribers hooked on.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm all good with that.
So I just made a quick T-shirt.
There you go.
There are too many fucking Batman Warner.
That's awesome.
You should sell that shirt.
Hey, don't.
Why do you keep coming up with this gold? Like,
you mean my Gina Carrano shot first shirt?
Sell these. You know, H-Bart's gonna buy them.
Gina Carrano did everything wrong.
Yes. I would wear that even. I might buy one. And I don't buy that many T-shirts.
I might. I don't know.
One's good.
The Batman one's
don't
good.
Don't tell Lightcast you're doing it because they'll flag you.
I dare you, Matt.
I think they're back. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I think I saw their channel pop up again.
Well, I had Mikey's boy on. We recorded a podcast today with Sil about some stuff.
Okay.
And it was actually a good time. I did not expect it to be. I didn't really know what to expect. No, that came out wrong.
No,
I didn't know what to expect.
I get you.
Okay.
No, Lightcast, they had privated all their videos and then they opted to.
I think they did so people can't unsubscribe when they're when they're hot.
Yeah, well, and then like they just put them all back up, but I think they disabled ratings and they disabled. Right. No, the ratings are there, but they disabled the comments.
Yeah, so they can't do what they did to you, Jarbo, in the past. Not to bring out bad stuff. But
yeah, I always left my comments up though. But yeah,
I know. But then the people will crush your channel with bad engagement and you know.
Yeah, no one ever believes me that that's a real thing. It's totally a real thing.
And when people are hot, they want to unsubscribe, but now they forgot about it a week. So if you're thinking about it, his channel's back up. I'm still subscribed, actually.
Yeah.
I'm not saying.
I actually had a really good conversation today about it. Like, it was nice to get both sides, like, or not both sides, but it was nice to like hear from someone that maybe knew a little bit more than I did, and you know, it just I don't like taking sides on that. But
no.
Everything that they did
never ends when you try to
everything that they did was so scummy.
Yeah,
and like I just don't care anymore. He could come at me if he wants, but like I know what you did. So yeah.
There's a lot of crazy shit with that situation, but I do want to quickly jump on the super chats before we jump over to the next topic. H-Bart's here, another $5 says, has Zack Snyder ever considered switching to vaping?
What?
Does Zack smoke?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
I'm like, does he? I mean, I've never
talking about Ty. Because you were saying you're a smoker.
People always say I sound like Zack Snyder. But
maybe
a
just
little
thinks
bit.
You are Zack. This is Zack Snyder.
Just go listen to Gary Vaynerchuk and you'll be like, oh, okay. Like that Ty sounds a lot like Gary Vaynerchuk. I could hear him go like, fucking sell fucking cards, and then like, yeah, there you go. Write me a book, Gary. All right. And then Matt here, 1306 with $5. Thank you. Says they give Zack credit because he handpicked the whole Justice League. Regardless they use his Snyder Cut or not, until they recast them, he won't get credit. Yeah, that's true, man. That's very true, Matt. 100%. I'm hoping that they do figure out a way to make it all work. And then let's see. Resident Justice here says if the Suicide Squad is successful, gun for Gotham City Sirens.
No.
I don't think that's ever going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, is that a movie we need?
Well, I mean, look, do we get a moment in time where potentially we get to watch a movie where Sesame Timbers is happening between Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy?
And she's expressed like she wants to do that. She
Yeah.
wants to
I'm all
explore
for that. Yes.
And you know what? Like, I would argue that, you know, we've seen her be with men. We now need to see her be with a woman. Yeah, well, I mean, she wants to do it, and the character of Harley is popular enough, and I think James Gunn has said he actually wants to do the next Harley. He would do the next Harley Quinn movie if that was an opportunity. There's nothing on the horizon right now, but I don't see her character stock going low after this thing comes out. Like, we're going to see push. I think there's going to be a very large push from fans for more of these characters.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's a good thing RJ's not on stream. He's
I think if it does
imagination is running wild.
Real quick here, Moisture, $5, man. Thank you. Says, would you say the Suicide Squad is better than both Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yeah.
Number 2, yeah, not number 1, but number 2, yeah.
I'd say a little bit. I added it, but I'd say a little bit better than Guardians 1. Tons better than Guardians 2. For me, Guardians wasn't as great as everyone made it out to be, but that's just me.
Yeah.
That was just a great film.
It is a good movie.
I liked Guardians 2 quite a bit, but I think Suicide Squad is just more of a complete story, you know, because I feel like they were setting stuff up with Guardians 2 that just because of what happened in 2018, shit got derailed and ultimately now changed.
Yes.
Because he did rewrite Guardians 3 during all of this, and so it's going to be a much different film, and that's okay. And they start shooting that here. I mean, they're already building the sets right now. Pre-production's already begun. So they start filming, I think, in the next couple of months. Cuppy Malik here says, James Gunn, Justice League? No, thank you. I don't think he would do Justice League.
I doubt it.
He likes the outcasts.
Well, who if Zach couldn't come back, but they're can do a kind of like final, you know, continuation and a final just Justice League 2, who would you see as someone that could do it? Like, I would think Ben Affleck or James Wan after Aquaman 2.
I think James Wan would probably be the best choice.
Yeah.
He's proven he can do ensembles with Fast and Furious 7.
This epic action sequence is an Aquaman.
The best of the DCEU in some ways.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like that movie was the most visually appealing DCEU film to date. I mean, like the spectacle of Suicide Squad's insane, but I still don't think the visuals were as clean as in James Wan's Aquaman. I just feel like what they were able to do with that technology, because if you go back and you watch, you know, Snyder and Suicide Squad, or it's Snyder and his cut of Justice League, anything with, you know, the underwater stuff looked underwater. Yeah. You know, it looked like it, you know, it is what they tried to play that up a little bit in the Aquaman movie by having those oxygen pockets, but ultimately, like, no, they can communicate under the water, and it worked just fine. It was, I mean, look, Aquaman is like fucking Star Wars, but under the sea.
Yeah. It was, yeah.
Speaking of Aquaman, not sure if you guys saw.
Oh yeah, that's
I can.
Yeah. So let's get into some hot spicy news here, and this is going to piss off a lot of people.
Yeah,
a lot of people here. Aquaman 2 producer responds to petition for Amber Heard's removal.
I don't care.
Oh, I mean, a lot of people, they're super frustrated today, man. Like, wait a minute.
I heard about this last year, and people wouldn't believe me. They said, no, I heard on Doomcock or whatever that she's going to get fired. You're like, no, I mean, look.
They're always saying that.
They never even thought about it. They never even thought about firing her at all.
No, they never. No, he says here, I don't think we were ever going to react. Honestly, pure fan pressure. You got to do what's best for the movie. We felt that if it's James Wan and Jason Momoa, it should be Amber Heard. That's really what it was.
You know what? This is one thing that WB is actually good at, but the problem is they just don't listen to any fans. So they don't listen to the crazy fans that say for fire every person on.
Well, I mean,
but they don't listen to fans at all. Is the problem?
This goes beyond, I think, in a few, because if you look at like the lawsuit,
I mean, even hiring James Gunn, that brought back. They bailed him out. I mean, when that happened, it was like people forget how bad it was for James Gunn at that time. People
he was
were
in
like,
like a limbo state in 2018 because the pedophilia jokes, the HIV, all that. Like, and he's the only person I've ever seen get uncancel himself, get more projects after.
Right, and it's because WB stepped in, and then they didn't even talk about the Flash thing where he was, you know, drunk and put a fan on the ground. So they're actually good at that. It's just that the problem is they don't list the fans at all.
Yeah.
So, but other companies need to be less reactionary to fan bases calling for people to be fired.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's very true.
I do.
But this is one of those things, though, where, I mean, again, just to finish the quote here, he says, he says, one is not unaware of what is going on in the Twitterverse, but that doesn't mean you have to react to it or take it as gospel or accede to their wishes. You have to do what's right for the film, and that's really where we landed on it. And I put out today, I said, is anyone out there really going to boycott the movie? And then, you know, like some people said, yeah. And other people said, like, they said, like, incels are going to boycott the movie. And it's going to go down that pathway again.
If it's just mirror the movie, maybe, but not Aquaman.
That's the thing. I think we talked about it before, right?
Yeah. I just sent me my here says I can't watch her again after hearing about her pooping in the bed.
Dude, she's good looking enough where I overlook it.
You're like, she can, so is she good looking enough where she could shit on your chest?
Yes.
And you would be okay with it.
Oh wow. Maybe
not okay with it. Maybe not okay with it.
I'd be
like,
angry, but I would still like take her back the next day.
You'd be like, oh god damn it, Amber.
So are you like saying Amber
as soon as she cleaned up, we'd be good to go.
Whoa. What the hell?
Nothing that a bidet can't fix, right?
Yeah.
A bidet and a hot shower. There you go. There you have it, folks. There we go. Moisture here says Cleveland steamer.
No, but honestly, the boycott thing, it's all like those are words now. They're not action. Like they used to be back in the day, you know, like I'm gonna boycott. We're all boycotting this, okay, for a good reason. Yeah, like Twitter boycott is just like empty threat, and it's just like you know, because they're all they need to talk about it and they need to hate it and be negative. So you know they're gonna see it and then be like, that was terrible.
Yeah.
Once the trailer drops, probably nobody tickets for it to see Aquaman 2.
Yeah. Rel says no one is that hot to let that slide.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Tell me, Margot Robbie.
Yeah, if Margot Robbie took a crap on your chest, you're telling me you wouldn't you'd still throw out of bed? No, you just. Just, you know, take that baby wipe you got next to it that you learned from Terrence Howard. You just clean it up real quick, spritz on a little bit of that Axe body spray.
Never been around like newborn babies then. Like,
oh yeah, I get shit on all the time by my kids, dude. Like all the time. I changed 3 poopy diapers in the span of like a half hour this morning. You know, you know, you get used to it.
Yeah.
But it's not.
That's what I'm talking about, man. Let's not be unrealistic here.
Yeah, I mean, come on, we're human men. You know, like, we put up with a lot. We put up.
Can you have Ty in your next thumbnail with Amber Heard? It's okay. It's okay. In the Mara costume.
Yeah.
In one Aquaman
with red eyes. We'll do the Geeks and Gamers thing.
Yeah. Well, did you see my my thumbnail from my thumbnail from yesterday? Like, I just chose. I'm all like, I made this. I'm like, yeah, this works.
That's such a Geeks and Gamers thumbnail, man.
Yeah, but like it's really colorful. Like I really think that is a good thumbnail.
It is a good thumbnail.
Red eyes on your little icon.
Yeah, I got red eyes on my icon too. Someone made that for me though, you know. But I didn't put red eyes on this. I just did this for you.
Yeah, he's not red eyes.
Look at Snake Eyes in the background.
Yeah,
is it really that bad?
Yeah, it's god awful. I've heard.
Well, I mean, I've heard from the usual suspects online, but they hate everything, especially if it was their childhood.
Well, I mean, I think they like the promotional material is promoting him as being in the costume the whole time, but it doesn't happen until like the last 5 seconds or something like that. So
I'm alright.
I don't know if that makes it bad.
If the action's good, I'm alright.
Yeah. So
it's definitely. I mean, yeah, I need to watch. I probably like it's going to be on Paramount Plus here very, very, very soon. So. I'm not too worried about it. It's one of those situations where, like, all right, whatever, you know, like they'll do it when they're gonna. You know, GI Joe's been a hard topic, hard thing to breach anyway.
Yeah.
You know, it's they haven't been able. Like Stephen Sommers' movie, I like.
That was another one where The Rock was in. Was he in the second one?
He was in, GI Joe Retaliation. Yeah,
that was perfect.
He
should have been there from the beginning.
Yeah,
that
was perfect. You couldn't figure out which one they wanted to use. Not Enosh. I was just reading Enosh. Channing or The Rock. I think they should have had both of them in
yeah.
In one
Well,
of them.
Channing didn't. Well, he was in it for a little bit.
Yeah, he was in the beginning.
So,
but that
and
was
then
it.
like but they had. I actually really enjoyed GI Joe. Was it Retaliation? Was that the second one?
Yeah, I think so. Retaliation.
I liked it because like the Paul Wernick and Rhett Reese, the guys who did Deadpool, they're the ones who wrote it.
Okay.
And they brought a lot of like, I think like I felt like it was a nice like homage to like early 90s action movies.
Yeah.
And that to me felt really good. And I think that was
think
like
they get Amber Hearded on too much for crap on. For too much because I mean it's G.I. Joe and they're fun action films. They're not that bad. Sorry.
That was such a Jarbo thing to say, man.
That was absolutely
I'm
a
proud
Jarbo
of
thing
you.
to say.
Oh,
I'm very happy with that. Good job,
I like
Max.
you, Ty. I've been watching you.
Let's see here. HWAD says
What
here,
a world!
I hate Jeremy thumbs down that thumbnail.
Oh my God! If I see that one more time.
Someone made this for me though. Someone made this one for me, and I just kind of went with it. I think it was pretty funny. It's old school stuff. I need to get a new logo made up anyway. But anyway, yeah. Let's talk about this the Scarlett Johansson lawsuit thing because that's been a topic people have been wanting to know. Because today's been blowing the hell up. It's a lot of people have been talking about it.
Now there's like multiple people.
It's like coordinated effort from actors.
On to Disney. It's crazy. I mean, Emma Stone. There's like two other ones I believe as well.
Emma Stone is considering suing the who is it? Gerard Butler apparently is filing a $10 million lawsuit for Olympus Has Fallen profits from I think it was like Millennium Films, and because that also was done. Olympus Has Fallen. What was it? London. Angel Has Fallen was a sequel, and then London Has Fallen is the third one, and they're doing another 2 Fallen films or something like that. So those are popular enough to continuously be made.
I don't feel bad for these actors. The whole world's had to take pay cuts.
Yeah.
And stuff. I mean, it's not ideal.
She's already made $20 million for the movie.
If they keep doing this in the future, and honestly, they were like, I know they kind of shafted her film should have come out years ago. But they still gave it to her. They didn't really honestly need to do this film. I'm still interested to see it.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of sick of it because everyone's had to take some really hard... All right, my dog's barking. Sorry.
No, I get it.
The pandemic's been hard on everyone. Everyone's had less money.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? That's really well said. It's... these actors, she made $20 million in the movie. She's looking for what, another 10 or 5 or 10 million?
50.
What? It's 50.
50 because she took. Well, real quick here. Thank you, Mladen and Multiverse for correcting me.
$300 and something million.
Yeah. Well, keep in mind they were looking at this movie pulling in like $1 billion. They were pulling like this movie by all intents and if Captain fucking Marvel can make $1 billion.
Yeah,
there's no reason. Black Widow.
Right,
Black Widow was a much better movie. No, not right now. I agree with you. And this is the problem though, is they
not
probably
even
felt
without the pandemic for this film. There's not it's like what's happening to the character. It's a prequel.
Look, Yelena Belova would have done enough, I think, to get people to really dive in. Florence Pugh was amazing in the movie. David Harbour was amazing in the movie. Scarlett was actually really good. It had a much more grounded story. It felt like a spy thriller. It felt very boring. I loved Black Widow.
I actually liked it a lot.
Actually.
Yeah. Considering all things considered, like her character in the past hasn't really been my favorite, but she actually got a chance to dial it in, and I think everyone performed really well in the film. It's just the way it was delayed and released the way it was just like very lackluster, and it felt like when I was watching the movie, I was like, I feel like I should have already seen this a long time ago.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people feel that way as well. And I agree with them. I think, honest to God, at the end of the day, this is one of those times where Hollywood, they were kind of backed into a corner. They had to put out content. They were, they're filming all these other movies. They are starting to get this queue lined up. They've got to get these things out and to keep on track. If not, everything gets delayed by years. And they are maybe worried that potentially they could lose fans by having those fans lose interest. Because remember, all throughout 2020, a lot of people are like, well, Endgame already happened. I mean, like, what else are they going to do to make it interesting? What's going to happen with anything going forward? I'm done with the MCU after Endgame because now it's all tied up. It's all done. And then I'm like, look, and I was very adamant saying like, no, they're going to find a way to surprise you. They're going to knock it out of the park. And then we get these 3 shows and it ends with Kang in the multiverse opening. And you're like, yeah, they've done it.
Yeah. A friend of mine felt a little let down because coming after those very cutting edge Disney Plus shows, you just got kind of spoiled, like, because Loki presented where the future was going with the MCU, where he felt this took place in the past. So I can see where he's coming from. I love the movie myself. I thought the actors were great, especially. What I'm hearing with this, though, it'll be settled out of court. Before Shang-Chi comes out, they're going to want to get this out of the way. They don't want this hovering over the PR and all this bad blood in print here. They don't want this, any of it.
There's and the thing is right here, you've got like the Time's Up movement, Women in Film and Reframe, and the joke I made was, oh, there's where Time's Up has been. Because
right.
they were well, people don't realize, what you have to remember here is when Me Too kicked off, the big thing to come out of that was the Time's Up movement, which, if I recall correctly, like Kathleen Kennedy is one of the leaders of that movement, like of that organization. She was one of like the leaders, not the person in charge. But they raised like $20 million in order to help facilitate legal expenses for women coming forward to get justice for what they believe, what things they would allege against people in Hollywood. That's what they were out there doing. And and I don't know if they've done anything, because quite frankly, they've been quiet this whole fucking time. You haven't seen much out of them in a long time. So here they come out with this right here, and everyone is saying that Disney is, doing this gendered character attack and all this stuff. Their statement wasn't very good, but I don't view it as being a gendered attack on Scarlett Johansson. They're trying to accuse her of using the pandemic as a way, which I think is far worse than trying to use this a gendered attack argument. Them saying she's not taking into account the pandemic is like she's greedy for money. That, I think, is the problem. But I don't know. And also, there's also been a lot of other people that have chimed in. A lot of people support Scarlett Johansson. A lot of people are trying to say, she deserves this extra money. And the thing is, like, that was a contract that they came up with.
Is this the end of goodwill with big universes? Like,
no,
part of the goodwill was because of Feige. But but in the future, we're also stuck on live action actors playing too. Into the Spider-Verse did good. Is there a future just for voice actors and CDers? People just want live action all the time.
Well, the live action generally tends to do better financially.
Yeah.
So
I would rather live action.
I like live action too, but the contracts keeping everyone together. Is it like a perfect storm, perfect moment in time that we got the MCU where it was? See how the DC's still struggling. We're getting some back, but look how long that took. It's hard to keep everything together. I just don't know if it's going to work this well in the future.
Well, I think it's like this. The idea kind of boils down to Kevin Feige, according to a report today, is deeply embarrassed for how Disney treated Scarlett Johansson. Feige's key job as the head of the studio is talent relation. That is his key job. And that being kind of hit, and that being, kind of called into question right now, is something that he is going to take personally, and he will take words probably with Alan Horn, who might run it up the ladder to Bob Chapek. Bob Chapek is going to be the person that is going to be seen as the kind of the instigator in all this, because Bob Chapek is the new CEO. Iger is still the head of the board, and Iger has had his long goodbye, which has been pissing off Chapek. There's some bad blood in that universe right now. And I've said this, and Mikey, maybe you'll agree with me, I don't know, but I've said that if Iger does not step down as chairman of the board at the end of the year, then Disney's in trouble.
Yeah.
So I just really wondering about that myself, because as we start to kind of see this whole thing play out, it's not this is not going to have any impact at all on the fucking movies, because this is just a business thing. The contract that they negotiated for her for this was $20 million up front, $50 million once it hits a predetermined box office total. That is not uncommon for actors, by the way. especially when it comes to these kind of movies. Tom Cruise, by the way, has not taken an upfront salary, I think, on any of the Mission Impossible movies because he has a percentage deal. He doesn't get paid until it hits a specific point. And that is how,
like an Elon Musk kind of deal.
Kind of, yeah. And that's how he's able to have control as a producer. And that's how he's able to keep doing this, because the budgets are high, but he's not taking his upfront fee. Tom Cruise would easily be getting $20 million a picture for Mission Impossible, right? He's still that big of a name. And so he's but he produces the movies. He's been very much involved since they first did the first one, all the way back in '96. That he has very much been involved, and so he's getting his money, through the back end means. And that is Harrison Ford, Spielberg, and George Lucas didn't get any money off of Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull until it passed $400 million at the box office. It did $800 million worldwide. They got fucking paid. Okay. And that is the deal that they make in order to keep the upfront costs lower, to put the movie out and to reap it on the back end.
You're almost investing in yourself.
Well, very much so. Even go back to Ghostbusters 2. All right. In Ghostbusters 2, I have to go back to confirm all this stuff, but in Ghostbusters 2, Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, Harold Ramis, Ernie Hudson, Sigourney Weaver, I guess they all didn't take any money up front, that they all took money on the back end. And Ghostbusters 2 was big, was absolutely fucking huge. And they made a lot of money off of Ghostbusters by playing that long game. And a lot of these players now do that because that is how they are going to, they're investing in themselves, and they're almost investing in the real estate of the property.
Yeah. Jack Nicholson, Batman, that was a back end deal. I think he got like $60 million from that.
Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr., that's how they kept him.
Yeah. I mean, so he would make all this money up front and then still get points on the back end because they know these movies are going to pull in all this cash. So yeah, Scarlett, all what's happening on this right now, in my opinion, is the fact that her agents brokered the deal. Disney broke the contract.
Well, why do you think that this whole time? Look, how we just talked about it. How many times did Black Widow get delayed?
A couple.
And then this whole process, how come the deal wasn't renegotiated when they knew they were going to release it on Disney Plus? Like, why
that is an issue. That is an issue.
It just seems almost like amateur-ish.
Well, I think it's better to ask forgiveness and permission is probably the idea.
Yeah. Well,
not when there's hundreds of millions of dollars getting thrown around.
Well, Feige up to the last minute said we're not putting on Disney Plus premiere. They didn't change course on that until the last few months, I think.
Yeah, he was really upset about the decision, but he had nothing to control over.
Yeah, I mean that's all Alan Horn, and that's all Chapek, and that's the higher ups making those calls, and they're the ones that got to deal with the fallout on this one. The biggest issue here is that, look, if they thought that Black Widow was going to pull in, a couple $100 million in the domestic box office because Marvel was at its peak height with Loki and with WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier and all that stuff, that they probably thought it was going to do really well. And then if you look at Fast and Furious has also pulled in $600 million worldwide, which, by the way, is now today on VOD. If you want to rent Fast and Furious 9, you can now get it on VOD. That came out today. I should have watched that one over Jungle Cruise, but it was easier to get Jungle Cruise. So I'm like, damn it, I should have watched Fast 9 because I'm a big Fast fan. But it's really the whole notion, though, that in this case, I agree with Mikey. They're going to settle it privately.
Yeah.
Right. But if anyone remembers, Todd Phillips also sued Warner Brothers over the Joker and its profits. So,
I didn't know that one.
Yeah. So this is not something that, this is not something that is in any way, that's going to be different than kind of the status. The difference is that, like, I think the lawsuit was dropped without Disney being properly prepared for it, or maybe it just kind of came out early, and they responded with a very tone-deaf statement. And today everyone is rallying around Scarlett Johansson. And I think, and again, this might tie in to where we might be finding ourselves in this new kind of pro-labor environment, right?
Right.
I mean, think about it like this. What are we hearing right now? so many people aren't going to even though they're maybe $15 an hour jobs, these jobs that are ultimately dead end with no benefits. People are not going back to those jobs in the wake of opening up again after the pandemic because they don't want to be put in those environments again where they're just being used. And so people are wanting a more concerted effort to make labor more protected in this country, because we've seen anti-union busting efforts coming out from Amazon specifically.
Yep.
You know, never mind the fact that when Jeff Bezos came back from space, he was like, I just want to thank all the Amazon customers and workers.
Yeah,
in
dude,
that
he's
order.
such a scumbag.
Yeah, and it's like, dude, all these people that, you know, that have worked for you or bought things from your company that allow you to make,
that are making literal dime, not even dimes. I don't know why I should say that, but they're making the lowest wage like humanly possible in like warehouses, in places like that, and I can't believe it. Like to hear some of the stories. I mean, you hear Amazon employees talk about like the environments they're put in. It's crazy. Like pissing in bottles just to make it to delivery on time.
Yeah, it's awful.
And
hey,
then
Matt, it's almost midnight, so I have to go.
Okay, man. Yeah. Thank you very much, Mikey, for being on.
Yeah, Ty, nice to meet you, Max. Good seeing you again.
Yeah,
nice
Mike,
to meet you, man. It's also 3 a.m. for me, so I gotta take a few minutes. I gotta go in a few minutes.
Yeah, I'm gonna wrap up in the next like 10 minutes or so. I have to look after the kids tonight, so I gotta effectively
put the babies to bed for tomorrow. The articles for tomorrow.
Yeah,
I'm going strong after you guys leave, so get those super chats in.
Oh, are you?
Always great being on here, Matt. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mikey. Have yourself a great night, man. We'll talk tomorrow.
Take care, guys. We'll do.
Bye, Mikey.
All right.
See you later, dude. All right, everyone. Mikey Sutton, geekositymag.com. Check it out. Good website. Lots of good scoops on there. And then, all right. So what else? Oh, yeah. So there was one here I wanted to bring up tonight. It's pretty funny. So this was posted to me earlier.
Did you
Apparently,
get RJ's
Gina,
super chat?
His super sticker? Yeah, I got to it.
Oh, it's a sticker. That's why I was
super sticker. Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, HWAD, yeah, we'll react to that. I'll bring on that video here in a second, okay, man? We'll react to that Japan thing you wanted to show me. But apparently Gina Carrano is under fire on Twitter, according to Giant Freaking Robot, because she tweeted out this here. If you get vaccinated, you'll get your freedom back, and it's gone.
That's actually kind of funny.
It is pretty funny, but I'll tell you this, though. This guy has a great rebuttal to it down here. You're on a hit TV show, and it's gone.
Oh, that's great too.
So
if she couldn't laugh at that one, then she doesn't have any sense of humor.
She probably blocked the guy for it, to be honest with you. Like, she probably blocked the guy with it. It's just like, what are you doing, Gina? Like, who are you trying to impress here?
This is the disease, though, isn't it? Because people can't resist. I mean, they could have livelihood. Is Twitter, is it that important? I mean, if I had that job, I would not be on Twitter.
I would not be on Twitter either. I would definitely be off Twitter. But yeah, so there we go on that one. That was pretty funny today. Let me bring up HBarts did send me.
You can't even retweet her that picture because she blocked you.
I can't because she blocked me. Yeah.
She blocked you?
She blocked me.
Gina
right after.
Carrano blocked you?
Yeah, because I
didn't even block me, and I did some crazy.
I
shit.
correctly explained to Miss Carrano what was going on with the Pennsylvania counting of the voting. And she did not like facts, obviously. So she blocked me. And then, of course, here comes the fandom menace. And they're like, Gina, we love you. And then, she gets fired and then she becomes a coupon code.
Gina Cupano.
Gina Cupano. That's a Mad Max original joke. And he gets all the credit for that one. Also, coupon code Gina gets you 20%.
I'm still waiting. I was going to do a video. I'm still waiting on news about that Ben Shapiro film.
Dude, they've already done. Did you know Ben Shapiro's already made a movie?
No,
Run, Hide, Fight.
Yeah,
he made an agreement with the film that was like already done.
It was already done. The film was already shot. Yeah,
scratch yet. This is just like the Snyder Cut's argument. The Snyder Cut was already shot, but to do Justice League 2, it's a whole new deal.
I know when someone says to you, you don't know what I know. And they followed up by saying that, well, it's the same thing as when the Snyder Cut. We knew the Snyder Cut existed, so we know that the Snyderverse will continue. It's like, that doesn't make any sense. But then again, not many things do these days.
HBarts, is the coupon code still valid? I want to see if it's still valid.
All right. I don't know how much. I don't. This is called All Japan Finish Move Collection.
Wow.
I don't think we're gonna watch the full 7 minutes, but we'll check out a minute of it to see, because HBarts wants use coupon code Gina at Daily Wire. Damn straight. So Matt's obsessed with Gina Carrano. No, I like to laugh at people.
She's beautiful. She's
she used
amazing.
To be, all right, come on, let's.
Oh, Ty.
She used to be very pretty. Now she's like her. I think it's her persona that like is really unattractive.
That could happen, yeah. Like you find someone, you meet a girl, and you're like, man, you're really hot, and then you get to know them, or like, and they're kind of maybe you guys don't mesh up, and then all of a sudden that attractiveness kind of goes. I mean, like, yeah, okay, it's just it goes away. We have we look at that. So let's.
I mean, in your Amber Heard scenario, I'd rather Gina Carano than Amber.
Oh, you're
but she would, but in the Amber Heard, but hold on, in the Gina Carano, if Gina Carano entered that scenario,
I didn't say
she would crush you, Max. She would crush you. It would literally be like Zenyatta Top from GoldenEye.
Whoa.
You'd just be like, I'd crush your head.
I'm gonna need a minute, like RJ.
I'd crush your head like Spedo's egg with my legs, or whatever that line from Wreck-It Ralph is. Anyway, let's take a look at this here. I don't know what the hell this is. I've never seen this before. Apparently, All Japan Finish Move Collection, sponsored by HBarts.
It sounds like a porn like parody.
Well, when you see Finish in the title, you're like, oh, cool, it's the money shot. And then it's probably, who knows? Let's see what this is.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
Christian laugh.
That's some good choreography. All right,
Some of these, it's hard to believe it. Like they actually don't hit him in the head.
Yeah,
that guy like really looked like he was coming with the back. Like you can't stop that from hitting someone in the head.
Is Saggy coming on for Ty?
I don't know. Saggy, I'll send her the link real quick for the last like 15 minutes. We'll get
that
Saggy.
Was really good, HBarts. Thank you. That was enjoyable. I mean, I'm not really in the wrestling, but they were really into it. Like some of that stuff looked real, even though it's not. But it
didn't even look that real to me. It just looked like all right. I don't know. I mean, like once it's fake, it's like
it's changed. Like, and I get it, right? Like, we watch superhero movies, right? And that, like, you want to make the parallel to, like, wrestling is all scripted and storylined, and it's all just entertainment. Yes, but they wear Speedos. So
that is true. That is true.
I can't get into it.
HBarts here says the guy in the green, Misawa, died in the ring from years of neck injuries. That is sad because he had some good moves. He had some good finishes there. I liked where he jumped off and like you thought he was gonna get slammed, but he was able to roll off the guy's back and land and then like attack. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, like you gotta have respect for guys like Mick Foley that like just absolutely wrecked themselves to entertain.
Oh yeah.
That guy is. I mean, he's done things like you watch the videos of him jumping off 20-foot Hell in the Cells. Like you're like, Jesus.
Did you see the trailer for that new Stephen Amell wrestling series?
Oh, the one it's on Netflix, isn't it?
It's on Stars, I think.
Oh, it's on Stars.
Yeah, but it actually looked good. I can't. I'm not going to buy Stars for it though.
Yeah,
Stars comes with my thing, so.
I think it's
no. I mean, like, look, the thing with wrestling. I understand. It's I that these guys actually.
I'd rather watch a show about it though.
Yeah, like these guys actually get injured. These guys actually, I'm not, they're athletes. They're absolutely athletes.
They're actors and athletes.
Yeah, they are entertainers and they do their job very well. I think what it is like when it comes to the type of storytelling, none of that, it doesn't interest me. Because it comes across as just like worse than like the days of our lives. You know, I get it. It works for some people. It doesn't work for me at all. I'd prefer if I'm going to watch that kind of soap opera stuff. I'm a big Downton Abbey fan. You know, like I like my posh British soap opera. So, you know, it's a different strokes for different folks, obviously. But it's never interesting. I like the video games because I think the video games are fun. Well, they used to be fun.
That's messed up, Javi 12. Owen died outside the ring. It didn't count.
Yeah, that's pretty messed up because he did actually die inside the ring. He hit his head on the turnbuckle, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's not good. Yeah.
And his brother was out back watching, so it's pretty like super tasteless.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I know he died, and that's fucking terrible. But yeah, we can anyway. Skip that. Yeah, H-Bart's here. It says Japan makes it more realistic than shitty WWE. It's called Strong Style for New Japan and King's Road for AJPW/Noah. I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is. That like
AJPW is like All Japan Pro Wrestling, I'm assuming. And then Noah is someone who runs an arc. I don't know. I don't fucking know.
H-Barks is going all hardcore on this. He's like,
yeah, he says here, another $5 super chat. Thank you, man. Says Japan also does not do soap opera stuff story. It's treated like sports. Oh, okay.
That's awesome.
That's cool, man. That's cool. Like, I mean, I respect the Japanese hustle on this stuff because like their game shows are fucking wild. Their shows are fucking weird. And it's like, it's so, you know, and you can see here in America when they absolutely try to like recapitalize on that stuff. And it just comes across as like soulless and commercial. Like every time America adapts a fucking Japanese horror movie, with maybe the exception of The Ring. Maybe. But anyway, did you guys ever see Most Extreme Elimination Challenge? I know I've showed the trailer on here before. Yeah. Have you ever seen that, Ty?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a great show.
Yeah, of course.
I'm annoyed with Saggy. She comes in to say we smell, and then we don't hear anything else from her.
I sent Saggy a link.
You smell. Bye.
You know, I sent it. She can come in or not. I don't have any other topics that I was going to go on tonight. Yeah. We covered a lot of stuff here tonight. I mean, is there anything else I missed? Anything you guys want to? I mean, I know Taika Waititi is now doing a live action Flash Gordon movie.
I'm excited.
Yeah,
for that.
He's writing it. I think right now.
Are people gonna be like, oh, this changes Flash Gordon? I'm a Flash Gordon. That's my childhood. Do you think they're gonna do that?
Well,
because he's gonna do super comedic.
I'm kind of like, honestly, I'm kind of getting sick of the world of reboots and redos and it's
except
just
for Waterworld.
I would
amazing.
like an original, original content, and it seems like we've just been going down this path of like just let's like dig up old properties and bring them back, or so. I mean, this just doesn't get me excited.
And then you've also got the fact that Universal just plopped down $400 million for the Exorcist trilogy that David Gordon Green is going to be making, because he's also doing the Halloween trilogy. And so he's moving from the Halloween trilogy reboot that is, apparently I haven't seen 2018's Halloween.
I didn't think it was that bad. Other people think it's terrible. I think it was more of the same. Like it wasn't any better or any worse than any of the other ones.
Can you guys hear that?
Yes, I can.
That is so. I live in the woods. I live on a dead end road in the woods. I'm not kidding you.
That's loud then.
That's loud. What that is up the road from me. There's like this other neighborhood, and it's someone I think in a motorcycle. They've been going out there and doing donuts because there's a turnoff where you can just do all these wheelies and shit. Yeah. They've been doing donuts.
You go out. I'm doing Hollywood After Dark here.
Yeah, don't you fucking know what I'm doing here? I'm fucking doing a show. H. Bart here says, "Is that Vin Diesel coming for you?" No, because I support the movies. I support the movies.
I support Fast and Furious.
Yeah,
I used to not. Believe it or not.
I've been a fan for 20 years, man. 20 years.
I don't even know which one I watched last.
You are missing out, man. Anyway, H. Bart's here. I asked you that because I didn't know what this was that you were sending me, so I thought you would like if you wanted to come on tomorrow and like tell us about what this Japan wrestling stuff is, that could be something fascinating. That's why I was asking. And then, Mladen here says the Conjuring franchise has now grossed over $2 billion worldwide.
That seems the whole franchise.
The whole franchise, yeah.
Is that why we have to deal with Hamada?
That's actually why we have to deal with Hamada now. Does that include the La Llorona? Because the director of that was like, whoa, man, don't connect us to the Conjuring, even though it's part of the same universe.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's clearly part of that universe.
Yeah, but they're like Annabelle 2 made a lot of money.
I have a question. What do you think's going to be the biggest hit out of the DC slate? I think James Wan's gonna. I mean, Black Adam is going to be good, but I just think Aquaman 2 with James Wan. Now that we know it was successful, they're gonna keep his budget. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
I think he's just going to hit it out the park.
Well,
I think he's going to move on to other stuff.
Well, he's already confirmed that he will not do a third one.
Yeah,
he doesn't do. He'll do one and two, but
do you foresee him doing another DC property, or do you just completely something different?
Probably something different, honestly.
Okay.
If only he would have done Saw 3.
See, the first two Saws were amazing, like mind-blowing, like make you cringe out of your seat, like just balls to the wall. And then I don't know, did it get like I watched 3 and 4, but I think I stopped after 4.
Yeah.
But then I just saw the newest one, no pun intended, and I actually was pretty good.
Oh, Spiral
with
Chris Rock.
Chris Rock.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but I want to. It's on my. That's the thing, though. Like, I feel like this is where it's kind of at when it comes to covering movies on YouTube. If you don't watch it in its first weekend, right? Like, if I don't review Jungle Cruise tomorrow, or even Suicide Squad in the next week, really, I have all week. But if I don't cover that, then there's no effing point. Like, there's just no point to really cover that because no one's gonna find it, And the only other way I've seen is you get people like that go after these really obscure Netflix horror movies or like these really like Shudder or whatever, those kind of films, and they kind of tear them apart. Or you get people who just do like nothing but TV shows. It's very difficult to find that footing in the space nowadays for older movies. I think that's why I like Podio commentary, but I'm so fucking behind on that thing right now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to put together a video right now because I watched Titans.
Ooh,
and
is that out?
No,
or preview.
Yeah.
He got hooked up.
Yeah,
he got hooked up.
I don't get hooked up at all. Hey, Ty.
Do you ever ask to get hooked up?
No. Well, in the past I have.
You just got to know the right people, my friend.
Yeah, it's kind of like you got to
match Arbo. Hey, Ty. Hey, new freshness.
Great. Don't give him your phone number, Ty. He'll call you all the time.
I do call Matt all the time.
The HBO Max budget turned this show around, man.
Oh, I like the first 2 seasons, so that's even better for me.
Well, the first 2 seasons I thought were great up until their finales, and they were very lackluster in their finality, or their endings were lackluster.
So it exceeded your expectations for season
this
3.
new season. The cinematography, the score was fucking whoa! My God, I was like into it. The storyline, the actors, you could tell that they were more comfortable and they were jiving with each other.
You all right
better.
with Starfire?
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
Okay.
She's not a character I care for too much, and even her story was compelling because it's the Blackfire and Starfire story mixed in with like Death in the Family. So fans are gonna love it. The only thing I'm not completely sold on is still Ian Glenn's Batman. I just can't get into it.
My wife's like, I can't look at him.
I can't do it because it's Game of Thrones. He was covered in flakes.
Something about like Bruce Wayne having a bald spot she doesn't like. I don't know, like
or an almost like this close to an English accent.
Yeah,
it's just like right.
I'm really looking forward to it. When does it come out?
This season comes out the 16th.
Okay.
Yeah, it comes out pretty soon.
The embargo lifts next Friday, so that's when I can put the video in.
So they're dropping the reviews the same day that Suicide Squad comes out. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense. And then they just put out the Long Halloween Part 2. So that's really out now.
Good. Yeah,
I need to watch that. And then someone said earlier in the chat that there was apparently like the Injustice movie had got some kind of preview. The animated Injustice movie.
Okay. No, I didn't see that yet.
I haven't seen that one yet. Yeah. We'll have to wait and see. Dark Beast here is like, so Matt, Beastars, like tonight I can't, dude. Like, I gotta go and
What is that?
It's a show on Netflix. Think Zootopia, but like I want to argue with like more erotica.
Okay.
What about Sexy Beasts?
No, we're not watching Sexy Beasts. We've watched that
I've been
trailer
watching
before.
Sexy Beasts. No, I've watched the show.
Oh my god! You know, it makes. Here's the thing.
My wife didn't want to watch it. Now we have one episode left.
If any of those people were actually ugly underneath those masks,
there are some.
Like how hideous we talking? Like
I'm talking. There's one episode where she was like super excited to be with him, and then when she got the reveal, she's like, "I'm getting a friend vibe."
Well,
that was like me and my wife were like, "Damn, that was pretty cold." Because the whole premise is you don't really see and they were really vibing when they're in the costumes, and then he's like, "Look at me," and she's like, "I'm kind of getting a friend vibe."
Oh, that's pretty bad, man.
So I don't want to hurt people's feelings, but if they do that eventually, that's where the show could be successful.
There we go. We'll have to see how that one goes.
Hey, how do you spell silo?
Silo.
That's it. There's no H.
Yeah. No. There's like you could. That's Shiloh.
Okay.
Are you talking an H at the end? I'm
talking about the silo, like where a missile would come out of.
Yeah, missile SILO.
Oh, okay. I put an H in there, and it said it was right. Okay. But now someone changed it for me, so it's all good. Never mind.
Yeah, no, it's silos. I'm not getting that on the thing. I mean, I guess it also there's
fucking editors.
Well, I guess it's like I googled it and it said maybe that's the British spelling of it. I don't know.
Yeah, whatever.
Maybe. Anyway, HWAD's here with asking you, Ty. It says, "Hey Ty, when you start filming Army of the Dead 2, and is it true you never say no to a paying customer?"
It said
Dude, they really think I'm fucking Snyder. Listen, I do interviews. I do cameos. All you have to do is join the Pop Culture Corner membership, and pretty much I'll do whatever you want. So,
whoa.
Yeah.
Hand
well, we
jobs.
already know about Amber, so
yeah. If you get the $10, if you get my membership on my channel, the $10 one, you really can ask me for anything you want. One time a month.
Whoa.
Like, yeah.
Like you can poop on my chest. I'm okay with that.
Come fly to Boston, then I'll do it.
$10 a month, pooping on the chest. But no, that's
minimum. You have to be a member for a year before you can do that, though.
Okay. That's
at least worth it.
So that's at least $120 investment on your part.
Yeah.
So, and that's kind of the going rate, but it's not going to be in dollars. It's going to be in quote unquote flowers, which is how, honestly, this is true. This is how Craigslist hookers actually set their price tag. So if like they would go, oh, it's 150 flowers is what the nomination is.
Okay.
So there's that.
How do you know this, Matt? That's like really specific. Like I had no idea how Craigslist hookers worked.
Remember, Max, there's a lot about me you don't know.
Parts.
Oh, that's an Amanda Waller line. You fucker. There's a lot that you don't know what I would do, John.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. She was great in that movie.
Dialed up. I loved it. I love Viola.
Perfect. She was great. Viola Davis rocked that movie and shit. But anyway, guys, we're coming up on
you're doing a public service for viewers. If you need Craigslist, then you want to.
There used to be something called Backpage.
Backpage was bad, dude.
Backpage, yeah.
Backpage was bad. There was that got shut down by the government. The FBI came in and raided that place because of child sex trafficking was a big part of it.
Oh my god, no way.
Yeah, it was hookers and sex trafficking and child sex trafficking was a big thing.
Whoops.
Yeah. But the thing, real quick though, the thing with hookers on Craigslist was they had
a sentence I never thought I would hear.
Dude, are you kidding me? Today I had to say the one thing I've never thought I've ever had to say to somebody. I'll tell you guys off air because it will get me demonetized here. But the thing with the thing on Craigslist was they had an adult services section, like an adult gig section on Craigslist for like the longest time, and one of them was basically just classified ads for hookers.
Okay.
And there was one day where my friend calls me up and he's all like, "Hey man, I think I saw our friend Claire on there. And our friend Claire was an Australian girl, like a Australian exchange student who was in town that we'd become friends with through other friends, but it doesn't really matter. And I'm like, what? Like, because I had been at Claire's house recently, and she was telling me about how prostitution was legal in Perth, where she's from. And I'm
no.
Okay. My mind kind of went like, oh.
It was like 1 + 1 is 2.
It was like, yeah, 1 + 1 equals 2. I'm like, oh, interesting. So I got up, I went over to the computer, I started looking. Because I had to see this for myself. You know, I'm like, clearly my friend didn't send me a link. Of course, I'm like, no, I have to see this. But as I'm looking through and I'm reading some of these ads, I come across a very peculiar one. I come across an ad for a girl who looks very familiar. This is in San Diego. I went to high school in Portland, Oregon. And the girl I'm seeing is a girl that I went to school with in Portland, Oregon. When I was a senior, she was a freshman. We had one remedial math class because I had failed math and I was an idiot. But that's how I knew her. And I knew she was a model, and I knew she had done nude photography before. And so all of a sudden I'm seeing like her picture, and she's offering up escorting services out of Pacific Beach in San Diego. And I'm like, there's no fucking way. There's no fucking way. So I jump on MySpace and I send a link.
Oh, MySpace!
I was way back in MySpace days, and I jump on MySpace. I send her a message, and I said, "Hey, I think someone is impersonating you."
That's
in like
that was
hook.
so clever, huh?
Yeah, like I think someone's impersonating you about this, and she's like, all she comes back with is, "Oh, okay, thanks."
Yeah, it's her.
It's total. Oh no,
that's her.
Totally her, totally her. Because I found out later on that it's now her husband. He lived in Pacific Beach, and like they had come down, and when she was living in Portland, she had done escort work before. And so she ended up like, so she got into doing like even softcore pornography for nubiles, which I didn't know about until after that incident, when another mutual friend of ours from high school sent me a video clip. He's like, dude, did you see this? And I'm like,
oh God,
no. And he's like, now you have. And I'm like,
well, listen. There was a girl I went to school with, and she ended up doing like one of those college porns.
Oh yeah.
She, like it's like a group thing, and I watched it like 50 times.
50? Whoa!
Hold on. Rel here's like,
Jabba
really wanted to know the price. It's not that I wanted to. It's not that I wanted to know the price, but like I jokingly tell people like that was a huge regret. I should have been like. Contacted and like set up a time and then like gone over and been like, hey, what's up? Yeah. How you doing? Long time no talk. Hey, remember, because believe it or not, like this girl, like we talked a lot after I moved, and then after she graduated high school, she was actually living surprisingly in the city I went to yesterday, and she was like, a little past Seattle. This is up in Linwood, and she had invited me up. I was coming to visit family. And we drove from San Diego up here to visit family. My grandmother was dying of cancer. And then she was like, oh, hey, you guys could come up to Linwood and hang out. We could see each other, because I hadn't seen her like in a couple of years at this point. And so I call her up when I get to town, when I come up to this area. And then she basically fucking ghosts me. Like, I'm like, I traveled like 1,200 miles.
Can we give props to Ty, like how natural he just said, 50 times. I was like, whoa.
Hey, listen.
She was good looking.
I know, but
she was good looking.
You admit it. You're like, 50 times.
She was good looking, and she was dating a friend of mine, and it was never going to happen. And then she went away to college, and that happened. I was like, well, this is the best. This is the best it's going to get. So
I appreciate your honesty, man.
It was every once in a while, like, it'd be like coming across someone you went to high school with who has an OnlyFans, and you're just like, do I mean, like, it's only like $3 for the month, and I can just check it out and just like scratch that one off the, I mean, like, because that's what it's there for. That's the thing. That's what it's there for. It's there for, you to see. And it's one of those weird things. Because so many people now have an OnlyFans. I would not be surprised, because I'm almost 40, and my 20th anniversary was last year, and they're having it next month because of the pandemic. Mm-hmm. And I would not be surprised if at some point in time I found out like any of the girls that graduated my high school probably now have an OnlyFans page. Yeah. I would not be surprised, because for one, when it comes down to like what is the taboo thing in whatever, it's all MILF stuff, right? It's all like MILF stuff. Is like you go to front page of Pornhub or whatever, and like it's all MILF stuff. And so I wouldn't be surprised. Plus, also, have you seen those articles about like the former pastor who turned OnlyFans star and now makes $150,000 a month?
Oh my god!
It's like a former pastor, mother of 3, has an OnlyFans where she makes $150,000 a month, and it's like,
Enosh, come on.
Ty, why are we doing movie talk? I could do mask stuff.
Wait, what?
I have my mask on. And,
what kind of movie talk you talking about?
I know my OnlyFans.
All right.
Oh, okay.
See, listen,
but I got the Thor bod though. That's the thing. I finally have a superhero, an Endgame that I can look up to is the washed out Thor. I was like, yes, representation matters. Thor.
See, I would do like feet pics if I was gonna do an OnlyFans. Like it would be my feet. Okay. I got good feet apparently. So I would do like the feet.
I know a guy that does that. I know a guy that he's got like 800,000 subs, and I
want to see if I could just like if I could infiltrate the industry and just not do anything that's exposing, but like something that's so just obscure and weird, and like just maybe pass them off as women's feet. I'm not that tall, and who knows?
I mean, like, is there a market for like really good looking ankles?
Yes,
I know. In like the 1800s, that would have been a major thing, but like now, because I have amazing calves. Like I have amazing calves because I'm fat and like they get sculpted by the fat because I have to carry it. Right. But like that would be if I was going to do any kind of body part. I think that would be like the only thing I would feel comfortable enough taking pictures of would be like my calves. Like, is it smooth, milky goodness, male calves, Gatorade? I don't know.
Only if you narrated it like that, though.
Yeah, no, I'd have to. Right? Dark Beast here says, "When's Mac announces OnlyFans?" No, I don't need. Like, hey, I'll put it. You guys have been so generous with the super chats. Like literally this month, that this is the most I've made in the last couple years, and it is going to allow me to take a bit of a break, especially as I get closer to surgery for the hernia, and so that is awesome. And thank you guys very, very much for that. Yeah. So, I don't need to do an OnlyFans. I have the best fan base here on YouTube. So you guys are awesome. And besides, none of you want to see my dick. Let's be fair.
Unfortunately, I will have to start an OnlyFans.
Okay. There we go.
Unfortunately,
I'm thinking about it.
I'm also having Wayne Carr on the show tomorrow. So if anyone wants to join,
that's great.
For that, maybe I won't have to do an OnlyFans.
I have to say this
please
about
hashtag save Ty from OnlyFans, please.
I have to say this though about Wayne T. Carr. I find it to be so fascinating, like how many people.
In the movie.
He's not even in the movie, and like. There was a stream I was watching where he was on there, and
someone said that to me the other day, and I was like, all right.
No, it's cool that it's cool that he's got the inside info. Like that's cool. Like, no, it's cool. I have no problem with that. But like there was a stream I was watching where he was on there and people were like, oh man, I totally think you should play like, you'd be awesome as Jon Stewart and oh, it's like such a shame we didn't get to see it. And then I'm like, none of you have seen this guy act. Like none of you have seen this guy act. True. He does drama. He does theater. Like none of you have it ever remotely. He could sit there and just have he could talk to you normally, have a normal voice, but then like when he gets in acting, it's all of a sudden he's like, "Hi everyone, my name is Jon Stewart, and nice to meet you today." He could do anything like that. You have no fucking idea how good of an actor this guy is, and I just like they're salivating over him. Like stop, like you're just like stop it.
He reached out to us.
Yeah.
So because I was on Enosh and I like made a rant about something about it's okay to be jealous. No, because it's true. Like, you know what I mean? You look around, like, even like for your super chats, right? Like, of course, it's natural to be like, I want that, right?
Yeah.
Like, I want that. Or like, I want Zach on the show. It's another thing to go on Twitter and try to cancel that person.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Like, yeah, of course, it's like human nature to feel a little bit of jealousy if someone has something that you don't, that you want. But it's another thing to act on it nefariously.
Here's H. Barks looking at Jarbo's OnlyFans.
What was that? A reference to the Enosh stream? Yeah, it was. Because he was on there and people were really just like, I mean, like, and I get it. You have a guy who worked with Zach who technically was shot for the movie. I get it, but it's like, you know, these are actors, these are people. You know, like they as much as they like the attention, they also probably really hate the attention. And I'm sure most of the actors would want to talk to them about like, you know, other things rather than just this one specific thing. Because like when Charlie Talbert was on your show, Ty, we were talking about like, I know you brought me on and you kind of over pimped me, I think, a little bit in the beginning. You're like, oh, this guy's a massive fan of your career. And I'm like, I just know one fucking movie.
Yeah, well, you know? I had to say what I had to say, dude.
I know. And I'm like,
fuck you.
I felt like a fucking dick.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, because it's like, I think like, and I'm not mad at you or nothing like that for it. Like, I get it. I thought it was funny, but I'm just like, I'm like Googling Charlie Talbot. Like, what the fuck else is he in? I know he was in Watchmen. Like, what scene in Watchmen was he? I don't remember what he was, you know. And then I'm on camera and I'm like, I can't look away. Fuck, you know. And I'm trying to like be smart about it and like ask questions. But I just liked having the conversation with Charlie.
Yeah.
I thought there was a lot of good conversation there. And I reached out to him after your show and I hit him up on Insta and I said, hey man, it was good meeting you. And we followed each other and stuff. Yeah. So I'm hoping I'm gonna reach out to him again and try to get him on and
just talk to these people and like get into like. So that's what I like. Is it doesn't really matter to me. I like that Wayne maybe didn't make it into the film or something.
Yeah,
and I do totally get where you're coming from, because you're right. In a sense, you're absolutely right. Like we really haven't seen him in action, and like it's one thing to trust Zack Snyder, and I do. All of his casting seems to be on point, and I don't think this is off. But I like talking to people in film, just or even just acting in general. And just having that conversation with them and kind of breaking it down and you know, I love it.
Totally, man.
I'll have anyone like you. Charlie's not that big, right? But I'll still have him on because I was like, I just want to talk to people. That's what I want to do.
No, that's cool. That's honest to God. Like I haven't done any of that yet, and I keep meaning to, but it's just like my life is so kind of chaotic at the moment. It's hard to like sit down and start kind of really thinking about it. So, and
reaching out to them's a bitch, and then you like. You feel bad about yourself when you don't get one. Like I had Will Smith people turn me down, and I was like, I take that as a win, because they answered me.
Yeah.
They said he's busy working on a national. He's doing something for. What's that? It's the Wilderness Channel, but it's not the Wilderness Channel.
I knew. Yeah, I knew somebody.
Something.
Somebody was going to ask this tonight. Did you hear about Chris Chan and his mom?
Nat Geo.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's doing some Nat Geo stuff. Have you guys heard about Chris Chan and his mom?
No, what is that? I'm eager.
Okay. Let me think of the best way I can describe this.
Well, can you show this is
parts
finding out Jarbo's gone to OnlyFans instead of Hollywood After Dark.
No, are you kidding me? The two things are going to be the same, man.
Or this is someone researching the Chris Chan story.
This is Jeffrey Harris, maybe.
Well, okay.
Sorry. It's her. Okay, you know what? Here's the thing with that, Hank. I understand. In the chat. I understand the concept of respecting pronouns. In this particular moment, if you believe the accusations, I don't care. Like I don't care. I've read the texts. So Chris Chan, Christian, whatever Chandler. Is a very effed up individual who just today it came out that apparently she had been having relations with her mother. Like her mother is in like late stage dementia, and she had been doing things. And then the text that came out was very graphic in regards to what was said. And like very, very graphic, like very difficult to read. And apparently there is audio confession that I haven't heard and that I'm choosing to not hear.
Yeah, I would lose my mind.
It's that's the thing. I understand.
Warning to people that are, if you really
trigger warning.
I mean, it's really
a little late for that, but yeah. That is
so
something
we're ending
that
on a high note.
We're ending on a real fucking high note here. That is something that it's crazy as all hell. And
those are people that should be punished with the ultimate severity.
Well, as far as I know, Christian is not allowed back at the house. The mother has been taken to a medical facility to be looked after. and there's some kind of preliminary hearing happening, I think like next week or whatever. I don't quite know all the details. I've just seen what I've seen floating around. But at the end of the day, the whole thing is disgusting. I do feel that there have been a lot of people on the internet who have very much enabled Christian to kind of live
Is he
this
some sort of fucking YouTuber personality?
Yeah. Let's.
He's a fucking loser, is what he is.
Let me see here. Okay, I'll just bring up. I'll bring up the article real quick so you guys can see it. So at least we have some context for people. This is again, look, this is kind of. I wasn't gonna bring this up, but it's been brought up. So according to Know Your Meme, and they're usually pretty good about this stuff. Chris Chan trends online amid leaked audio of them allegedly admitting to engaging in sexual intercourse with their own mother.
Yeah, why did I have to see this before?
He deserves to be dead.
So Chris Chan is a creator of Sonichu, which is in the centerpiece of several online and real world drama filled sagas. And this is it's pretty bad. I've read it. It's pretty bad.
I'll take your word for it.
I understand. It's just like Blair White is a horrible, terrible human being. I'll still call her Blair. I have met her. I understand the thing with Christian. I'm just kind of, I know tangentially who Chris Chan is. Not all of the saga, but this is, I mean, look, I don't know. It's just, it's some shit. And yeah, so there's apparently audio that's out there and it's been trending all day and people were talking about it all day. And, it's bad. Yeah. And this is the dark side of the internet. This is the kind of shit I talk about, like the dark side of the internet.
Well, I immediately assumed when Matt was saying something before off air, have you heard? We were discussing things we've heard, and I was like, yeah, I hope it's not something like with an underage fan or something. He's like, no, it's much worse.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're both bad, but
that's like the first time I've ever heard that. Honestly, that's the first time I've ever heard of that situation, and I don't care if it's an underage person or someone who. The mother thing is like, you know what? If it was like some like back alley fucking south thing, like, and it was consensual, like do you boo? But the fact that the mother is in the condition she's in is what really is the problem.
Yeah, it's terrible, and it's like the thing is like it's very difficult to have these kind of conversations. Because it is so bad. And it wasn't something I was going to make a story about tonight because it's not related to any of this.
Thanks.
Yeah. So now that we brought it up, it's out there. It's like, well, if I didn't do it, nobody else would have. I guess right at the end, thankfully only about 25% of people.
Your icon's worth it. That's an amazing cat with a hat.
So
look at that amazing kitty.
Well, thankfully when it comes to the replay of this, I have about a 25% like listen all the way through to the end completion rate. And what's funny is, I mean, it's like, it will literally like 75% of people click off in the first like 5 seconds.
Of course.
But then there's about a 25% completion rate. So it's really people who click on it will listen all the way through. So if you are coming into this at the end, I'm sorry.
We had a good talk in the beginning.
We had a good talk. We've made a lot of jokes.
I feel really dirty, and that, I mean, this whole 2 hours went the gambit of talking about how to get hookers on Craigslist. Mikey Sutton was talking about something at the beginning. I'm not going to talk about it, but and then Christian.
Well, because we were talking about this 80s anime.
Ty admits that Amber Heard is okay in his book.
Very not listen. Ooh, you took that out of context.
Well, she's hot enough that she can forgive some things.
Yeah. If it's
some
done to
certain
me.
things. Oh, if it's done to okay.
Yeah, I don't take sides. So between her and Johnny, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. I won't take a side there. But if she was doing things to me, yeah.
In the Mara costume or just regular Amber?
Just regular. I don't care.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, but with the red hair.
That'd
be the caveat.
I mean, the Mara costume
the Mara costume's awesome, and we'd have to get it offset. That's the whole thing, and
It's
getting in and out of that.
So what you're saying is you are fully waiting for Amber Heard to steal the Mara costume from the set and then start an OnlyFans.
Well, no, that's the thing is it's super hard to get in and out of those costumes, right?
If she did an OnlyFans, it would blow the up.
Of course it would.
All these people hating on her on the internet, it would probably be the number one.
She would have 1 billion followers.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I said, but the suit, it's too hard to get off for quick access. So no to the suit.
The suit would be hard to get off.
Yeah, so we don't want that. Yeah, I would not be. It'd be like the first time again.
First time, every time.
Yep. I would never get used to that, man.
Oh, there we go on that one, folks. There we go on that one. But all right, I think that's a good place to call it a night. Because I don't know where the fuck to take it from here. And yeah. But Ty, where can people find you at?
At pop_culture 2020 for Twitter, and then at pop_culture corner on Facebook and Instagram, because the other idiot set that up and didn't use the same thing. You can also find us on TikTok because we're cool, and you can just search Pop Culture Corner.
TikTok?
Yeah, TikTok with the little videos.
Tic Tac?
Yeah. The size of my penis.
All right.
No, I'm just kidding. I
should totally cut it. Like, just cut the stream to end right when you say that in the post-production. I'll just go right to the end. 2 hours, 20 minutes, and 50 seconds. We'll cut right. It's like Tic Tac, like the size of my penis. Bam, done.
Did you ever say this joke before? Because I missed that.
I was gonna.
Now the chat's gonna say, "Hey, Tic Tac."
No, I was gonna call it out. I was gonna say it on one of you, but then I was like,
"Oh, thanks."
That's not appropriate to say to them. I'll just say it about myself.
Oh, you can say it about me. Who cares?
Yeah. But no, also on YouTube at just search Pop Culture Corner because they don't have ads on YouTube. But yeah, we got lots going on, lots of interviews and stuff like that, and Jarbo's audience is really cool and really fun.
Yeah, you guys are great. And Max, where can people find you at?
Movie Madness and Entertainment on YouTube. Mad Max Movies 1 on Twitter. And I'll be hanging out with Tic Tac and Jarbo on $3 Theater and at Hollywood After Dark when I can.
Yeah, best late night movie chat on YouTube. I'm just gonna call it right now.
What?
Oh,
now let's.
I said
worse.
late night.
I used to have Movie Madness.
Yeah, but you're on the East Coast and you start like at 9 p.m. That's not late night. That's early for me. This is 3:30 a.m. your time.
Right. Yeah, okay.
Late night.
Late night, yeah.
Late night. Pop culture movies with TikTok. Tic Tac. There we go.
Tic Tac.
Tic Tac. There we go. All right, everybody. I'll talk to you all tomorrow night. Have yourself a great evening. Thank you again to everybody, and peace out.